What's good? What's good, everyone? Good afternoon. Welcome to the panel. Light skin girl. Well, he's gone. well, I'm just gonna say this. Hold on. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to start things off with an instrumental. Relax, everybody, and chill to this instrumental for a minute. Salute everyone. Welcome, welcome. I felt that particular song was appropriate for what we got going on today. Um, Welcome to the panel, curls, light skin curls.
Yes, yes, I'm acknowledging my inner light skin now. So too bad I couldn't put my profile pic up to show my inner light skin.
That's fine. That's fine. It's all good. Um, Man, after the helmet stuff that went on at Bernard's, I felt this was uh,
Not just
pretty.
Bernard's, dude. Oh my gosh, even Vermeil's had some shit going on.
Yeah, I don't really even go over there like it. So, um, so yeah, as the title is, it's a Happy Backstabbers Day. Um, so just to get into it, everybody always talks about Easter and the light that how Jesus uh pretty much made this sacrifice and all that, but nobody looks at it for what it. Nobody looks at it for the other side for what it was too. On the whole Passover event, him coming in, riding in on a donkey, him laying down palm trees, and praising him. All the while, these niggas was setting it up to raise him up just to take him down. It's just nigga shit at its finest, um, and everybody seems to kind of gloss over that point. Um, so I wanted to talk about that, and oh my gosh, then with the helmet niggas over there, the helmet religious ones over there that came to Bernard's, it's too funny because it just goes to show that people who claim to actually read this stuff, they don't even read it. They have no idea about the book that they're actually reading, because nowhere in the book does it out is it outright even against science. Actually, it even encourages it, because it tells you to try everything to make sure that they are and people are who they are and things are what they are. Shalom, Sigma. We'll have you up in a bit as soon as you get ready. Uh, Curls.
And I see Prince was on that Bernard panel also. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had, I got to cooking during that time. Of course, I can. Jay Ibrahim were the voice of reasons on this on the topic, and pointed out, nowhere in there does does the Bible discredit science whatsoever. And he even pointed out that Jay Ibrahim even pointed out that these people don't even understand the book that they claim they're supposed to be reading.
Yeah, at all. And it should have just honestly stuck to Ike and Ibrahim because they're the main ones who are the most stoic dudes, especially when their panels are together.
Yeah, yeah. Sigma, Dr. McCoy, welcome.
Welcome, Sigma. Don't be a nigga, Jones.
Hey, I've yet to be proven wrong, so there's
Yeah,
some truth to that.
yeah. There's a lot of truth to it.
I overheard you guys talking about the stream earlier with Bernard.
Yes.
Um, I'm sorry. When the brother, what's his name? Truth
We
or
call him
Prince?
Prince.
Yeah, Prince.
Prince. I'm sorry. As soon as he started talking, he just lost me at so many angles. I didn't even know where to begin. Like,
Everything.
yeah, this is why it's kind of like, with religion, I'm just of the opinion, look, you go and find your higher being, whoever that may be. You figure it out on your own. Figure out your spirituality, and if it works for you, it works for you. The problem is when you have individuals that feel so obligated, they want to spread their spirituality to everybody and try to
Right.
make it seem like you're right or wrong if you don't follow this or that. My thing is this: if you ask me as far as my beliefs, sure, I'll be more than happy to give you my thoughts and beliefs. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to waste my time trying to chase you down to say, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong, you need to do this, you need to do that. My thing is this: go and figure it out on your own. Once you figure it out on your own and you develop a good self-esteem that's not tied to outside factors and external factors, hey, you do what's best for you.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that even in this book, the Bible, it even teaches you in there that people that don't believe, you're not even supposed to even worry about them.
Exactly.
You're supposed to leave that up to, to God and whatever happens there. You're actually supposed to worry about testing the individuals who claim to believe that are around you to prove that they are who they say they are, which is science in itself.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta remember, Eisen, the Bible's not in the nigga language because it has to be explicit. Like, no niggas are allowed to get their shit off because that's what Truth basically did on that fucking family. He just wanted to get his shit off.
Oh, well, that's what Lionel Richie always wants to do.
Yeah, I've never seen a stream where that guy did not want to talk about his everyday life. Like that and that's the thing. Like there's too many dudes. I'm not gonna say men, but there's
Mhm.
too many dudes that when they get on these panels, they just have to talk about everything that's going on in their life. Even if
Nigga
it's not,
tails.
yeah, even if it's not relevant to the title. And what gets me is I always ask myself, okay, who are you trying to get across? Like, if you're on a panel where it's a bunch of dudes and everything, why are you telling your life story? I mean, there's plenty of women panels where you can go in and do all that crazy stuff because women love those type of talks. You know, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But sometimes we have these dudes come up and, we'll have a subject talking about subject A, and then somebody will come up and be like, well, let me talk about subject B that happens in my life. And it's like, what that got to do with the title? And it's the same thing as far as like religion. You got some dudes like, for us, we're talking about, the helmet religious crew. And
Yes.
then, if you was to open it up to like the chat without a shadow of a doubt, somebody will come through and say, well, let know God. Even though nobody asked them to
Oh, I think you're going. Is it me or you going in and out, Sigma?
Yeah, it sounded like Sigma was bored a bit.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
they just like the peacock.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Bronzeberg. Exactly. To let me get my shit off, dudes. Yeah. That's them.
Oh wait, Eisen, I need to get my shit off on this panel. Let me just derail a little bit. So, I'm light skinned curls. I've been called light skinned now because my dad's light skinned. So, I'm trying to embrace my inner roots and enlist my inner light skin. But that's just me. What was the topic again?
Yeah, pretty much it. And we'll get Sigma back here in a minute. To the point, Sigma was making. The thing is, these niggas like to hear these nigga tales too. Not just the women, but the niggas like to hear it. Well, I guess they're bitches too. They like to hear that shit too. We see it every time, old ass Arthur had to get on. Niggas eat that motherfucking shit up in the chat. I mean, they love it because they want to live their lives through these dudes that are getting their shit off. Bronzeberg, welcome to the panel.
Hey, what's good, bro? I'm outside, but I'm hearing you brothers chat up. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all was drop some jewels, especially about that boy Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
I mean, look, listen, I don't know if it's going along with the topic, but you got a lot of people who's just trying to get their shit off. You feel what I'm saying? It's not really humble politics. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, oh, let me just say something cool because I've accomplished this, I've accomplished that, so I got to tell the world what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, fam. We see what's going on, dog.
Yeah. It's simple as that.
Yeah,
Glad
you
to have
know.
you back, Sigma.
Yeah, it looked like my side was lagging a bit, so just needed to jump off.
That's cool. That's cool. But yeah, that's, and I didn't even finish listening to Alana Richie, but just oh man, the helmet strap religious niggas in the chats were killing me. Oh my gosh, it's just too, it's too funny. It goes to show how when Zero talks about the genie in the sky aspect, that's all that these niggas see. That's all that they see because they can't. He points out how they've never read any other books, but what's even worse, they don't even really understand anything about the book that they so-called read and studied.
I feel like they just take scriptures and then they just know like, yeah, this is what the book is. You're not a real Christian or you're not a real religious, whatever, if you haven't read this. And it's like, bruh, like I had to
I
learn
saw.
that. Like my fault. I had to learn that. Like I was like, I'm gonna be humble because I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? And we got too many times brothers that just be like, I know it because da 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 da. And I'm just like, but did you read the whole thing though? And they answer be like, nah. I'd be like, y'all be too humble. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, y'all be too hype. You gotta be humble, bro.
Well, the thing is, niggas are like bitches when it comes to this thing. They treat it like it's a buffet line. They go through and see. Oh, you know what? It's that peach cobbler, but I think I want that. I ain't gonna get none of them green beans. Forget the salad bar. I'm gonna go over here, get this fish or this steak. Them potatoes look okay. I don't want none of it over there. Go and then go into and then go over there and get some ice cream. So that's how they treat they treat all the information held within the book.
And I gotta say, one person in the chat actually had a good point. Is like y'all will be here for at least 30 years talking about the same shit.
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Just like everything else. especially. Oh, go ahead, Sigma.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like it gets me how these dudes will come online and they literally become like women. All they want to do is just talk about the issues, talk about, so to speak, what they went through and whatnot. But then when it's like, okay, well, now that you got that off your chest, what are you gonna do about it and everything? And it's like, I don't know. I just wanted to say what I gotta say. And it's like, y'all really treating this like it's a therapy session.
It's like, let me get my shit off, son.
All right. What's your solution? Nah, I don't have a solution. I just wanted to get my shit off. Never.
This is like a deer caught in the headlights, yo. Like
Every time.
every time, yo. Because once you hit them with that questions, it's like, what are you gonna do? They be like, and then they be stuck as hell.
Yeah.
Yo, it's crazy, yo.
It's interesting. And also to Sigma, to the first point I brought up was about, the title with, me calling it, Happy Backstabbers Day. And hence me playing the instrumental of the OJ's Backstabbers because, everybody, brings up the point about, Jesus dying on the cross and the sacrifice and all that. But nobody talks about how his own people turned on him. They lifted him up only to move the pedestal to drop him down.
Yep.
And to the screen, we have Lawrence, I Hate Curls guy.
Oh, hell nah.
Yo, I'm just coming in. I need to get my shit off. These high yellow, light skinned, red bone, Preston curls motherfuckers be getting on my nerves. I'm sorry. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Shalom, everybody. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Everybody doing good?
Oh
Yeah, we
man.
straight, yo.
Oh yeah,
Oh
I
man.
had,
man.
to, I had to get you, Curls, man. You roughed me up in that chat last week, bro. You roughed me up in that chat. I had to get vengeance. I'm sorry.
but
I'm sorry.
yes.
Please continue. Please continue. Sorry.
And I was just pointing out, that nobody likes to point out about how his own people they turned on him because for the simple point of telling, look, basically, you niggas need to get better. Y'all ain't shit. And they turned on him to set him up to be crucified. I mean, Pilate didn't even want to do it, but his own people turned on, was like, nah, we want blood. This nigga got to go.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody wants to talk about that aspect of what happened about these niggas.
Yeah, because Because if you do the analogy, man, I mean, let's say Pontus represents white people, right? And because from my perspective, we're the chosen. So Yahweh Shai is black to me. So let's look at it like this. Here's where it gets funny. Let's say Pontus represents white people. They wipe their hands of it. They step back and just watch us be stupid, which they do in real life. If you follow the analogy, they just watch us because we do a lot of it to ourselves. The second part is that if you continue with that analogy, you literally see the people in the crowd, Jesus' own people, us as black people, they chose fuckery by screaming, "Let us have the thief." You understand what I'm saying? They chose the thief over the dude who can show them productivity. That's what they did, because they cried out, "Let us have Barnabas." I think that was his name. "Let us have Barnabas," yada, yada, yada. They chose fuckery over productivity, literally, as a group. And we've been cursed with that shit ever since.
Yep. And I'm glad you brought that up, because it really proves that if the greatest individual to ever walk the earth, who was God in the form of man, if he was portrayed by his own people, then why are we preaching, so to speak, why are we preaching we gotta stick to one another just based off of skin color or based off of monolithic thought, when God himself was portrayed by his own people that he came to help save?
On more than one occasion.
Yes.
Let's make that abundantly clear. On more than one occasion. It ain't like that was the first time. We can talk about individual people of the family as far as lineage in the book goes, but there are moments in that book where groups of us as a whole did the same thing. We can start with Moses going up there to get the laws of productivity, and by the time he came down, they built a golden calf, man. I mean, come on, bro. Come on. I mean, dude.
Yeah.
And the list goes on and on from there, man. Rome's destroying Jerusalem in 70 AD. I mean, and everything in between that, from Masada and, man, like you said one time before, man, stiff-necked people. That's what we got here, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I keep telling people.
And even up into today. Oh, you go ahead, Lawrence.
No, you go ahead first, Sigma. Go ahead.
I was just saying that's what kind of gets me, is if you speed it up into today's time, you still have these people that talk about how, look at white folks, they stick to each other. Look at Asian folks, they stick to each other. Look at Hispanics and everything. And I say to myself, you guys really don't pay attention to worldly things, because I can tell you right now, there are countries in Europe that are fighting each other because, so to speak, they think they're better than the other group. You got countries in Asia who feel like they're better than other Asian countries.
Don't get me started on
the
Middle
list
East.
goes on and on and on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this whole nonsense. I was gonna say, so this whole nonsense about, so to speak, we all gotta be monolithic or we all gotta think the same thing when it comes to certain topics and everything. It's like humans were not designed for that type of tribalistic thinking. Sure, you could say within like a small tribe, you could maybe get away with it, but when we talk about on a global scale, that's impossible.
Well, the problem you got is that, and this is one of the biggest failures a lot of people, Christian and otherwise, don't understand. Everybody's walking around with this summer of love mentality that when that when Yahweh Shai comes back, or Jesus as everybody calls him, comes back, he's gonna peace, love, and everything else. And you sitting there and you're literally ignoring the last section in the book where he's telling you that's not how that's gonna be.
He's gonna destroy them.
He's coming back with a sword. He's coming back with an army.
2/3, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 2/3, and like I tell a lot of black Hebrew Israelites, you know, who sit around screaming out, you know, well, the white man's gonna be killed. We're gonna take their women to be handmaidens and yada yada yada. And I'm like, and that's how I know. That's how I know you're not right. You're not right, because the first thing is that the Most High said, "Do not count his people." Well, we're his people. All people are his people. We're just his chosen people. There's a difference.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so you don't get to count them. You don't get to make the decision of who's going to hell and who's not. That's not your call. So
That's his call.
Yeah. So the fact that you standing on a corner screaming like that, man, you look like a fool. That's number one. Number two, you're talking about taking somebody's women and making them your handmaiden and bed wenches. First of all, if you look at the Torah, he has rules on how to be a slave owner. Period. Point blank. You can't miss it. And he teaches, and it actually explains to you how to do it if it's somebody of your people or if it's somebody of other people. So right out the gate, you're wrong on that. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? They go in there and they pick out these sections, and they want to start beating people over the head with it, but they're not reading the thing in its totality. And like I said, all you have to do is listen. And it makes no difference. Just like the ones who like with me, you know, and I'm not trying to pick on these brothers, but like I've said many a times before, I don't do cosplay. You understand what I'm saying? I don't. I think it's cool to watch, but I don't do cosplay. I don't go to conventions dressed up as other people that I'm not. I just don't. So when I see them outside and they got on all the fringes and the headgear and the gold wrestling belts around their waist and the whole 9 yards, if that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. But realistically speaking, watching you dress like that, listening to the stuff that you say that I just mentioned, and so much more, you come across as Pharisees. And we already know the history of them. You really want to be part of that group?
True. I want to say this one thing, like to that point, you know, a lot of the brothers and the sisters, you know, they always have to be uniformed to prove how down they are for the cause. I've seen it with the Hebrew Israelites, the Pan-Africans, even down to the sect that I'm familiar with, the Aboriginal Americans. And, you know, they always have this mentality like, we all was one, we all got along. Lies. Moors didn't get along with other Moors. You know, I'm pretty sure Black Britons didn't get along with each other. Even here in the United States of America, tribes was beefing against other tribes. So it's like this utopian thing that they make up, and then when they have a person who's against their philosophy, it's kind of like we put on trial because we think different. Like I cannot stand the whole entire one-track mindset type of mentality. Like we're all just not gonna get along. Do you understand what I'm saying? You just think with like-minded people. That's how you supposed to roll. So it's aggravating when I hear stuff like that, man.
Another thing, Bronzebird, is like they already just put this whole unity like is the answer. If you idiots can't even unite with your families, and even the Bible sees how families were betraying them and, you know, raping relatives and all that stuff. Like you can't unite. The answer is separation. Like it may seem counterproductive, but that's actually the answer. And Black people in particular don't seem to understand that. Like people separate to actually get their shit going.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say this one thing too. I just want to bring this point out because this is another thing that I find ridiculous with so-called Black people. You see, like right now, they have the whole thing that's going on with the Asian hate and all this other stuff out there. And I tell people all the time, I'm not against any other nation. You know, specifically, I love mine, just all general principle. But it's like once you see these things going on with our people, they always trying to reach out a hand to everybody else before they reach out a hand to our people. And I just find it ironic, man.
But the thing is, Brownsburg, in the case of Asians, they already been reaching out a hand to Asians. They go to their damn beauty supplies and fucking restaurants in the neighborhoods. So
Right.
they don't need your hand. They already getting money off of y'all.
That's true.
Is that
Yeah, that
that's for
question
me?
is directed towards you.
What is?
Lawrence Guy
I'm
Shalom.
sorry. Yeah, read it out for me, please. I'm sorry.
Lawrence Guy Shalom. Question for you: why do some Israelites believe in bishops and saints? I thought that was a Catholic thing.
It is a Catholic thing. It absolutely,
Yeah, I thought so too.
it absolutely is a Catholic thing. I don't know why they're doing the bishop part. The saints part, if I remember correctly, and I don't agree with this, let me make this abundantly clear. That's supposed to be representative of our forefathers, the ones who sit on the left and right hand side, on the left hand side of God, while Yahushua sits on the right. And that would be our forefathers, like Abraham, David, Solomon, yada yada. They sit there with the Most High, watching us, for the final day of reckoning. Should they be called saints? No, they should not. They are exactly what they are, our forefathers. I mean, Abraham, regardless, over 3 different religions, Abraham is the father of the races. I mean, he just is. Because from Abraham, we all come. Even Muslims come from Ishmael, his first son. So, but why they do it, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. And it goes against the rules because, again, the path is a lifestyle. It's a way of life. It's not a religion. It's not supposed to be a religion. And they're trying to make it a religion. That's why I brought up the point about the other guys acting like Pharisees. They so busy being attached to the letter of the law, they're missing the spirit of the law. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Good question, Wadden.
And
You know what? Let me ask you this. Since this is on my mind. Right now, I have you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask you, because remember I told you I was like I'm excited for going along with the Bible thing. Now they tell me that there's a specific type of Bible I should get because King James is not really given the whole entire thing since it's been watered down. Like what version of the Bible do you recommend? Because I was also gonna get the Apocrypha too. You heard?
I
think he had a pause. He's got something. He would
No,
probably.
I'm sorry. My bad. I was on mute. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was on mute. The 1611 King James Bible, the Apocrypha. Okay, and then there's a couple of other books that I've collected personally, in conjunction with that, from the Book of Ruth to the Wisdom of Solomon to the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs, which would be Joseph's other brothers, so on and so forth. I think you have to be of strong mind because you're reading a lot of different books that were written in different periods, so you have to have enough discernment to understand what really
What's the
applies and
time
what somebody
period?
and
What's the
what
time
somebody
period and how it was, right?
and how
This
how
joint
somebody
killed me.
yeah
Because the
because some
joint, my fault. I was just
yeah
gonna say this one thing. I was like, this joint killed me because I remember I picked up one of the Bibles like a while ago and I tried to read it. Like I started reading and I was like, oh, this is the Gideons. And so I tried to look up the Gideons and I was like, oh, this is wild what the researches was, yo.
yeah
It's like the Gideon version. Go ahead, bro.
And I was just gonna say, is the point that Lawrence is trying to make out. It's not just one. You have to. There's several books, which I need to read
there's
as
several.
well.
I mean there's the Book of Adam and Eve, and their testament and all that good stuff. Young Swift, just real quick, I'm sorry. Young Swift, that one you're talking about in the book is not the Wisdom of Solomon. Those are the Songs of Solomon. The book of the Wisdom of Solomon is a separate thing. As a matter of fact, hold on a second. I have it here in my hand, and it runs 19 additional chapters. So I get what you're saying, young Smith, but what you're talking about in the Bible, which is the Torah, that's actually the Songs of Solomon, not the Wisdom of Solomon. So a separate thing. But going back to you, Bronzeberg, like I said, King James 1611 and the Apocrypha are the main ones, at least from an Israelite perspective. Sorry, from a Hebrew Israelite perspective. Everybody's got their own thing, but whatever it is, I read all of it. I've got the Dead Sea Scrolls. I mean, the list is freaking endless, man. I mean, I try to be funny, but it really is. And you try to pick, from discernment out of that, because okay, let me take a look real quick. I've got the Apocrypha, the Book of Enoch, the Book of Giants, the Book of Noah, the Gospel of Judas, the Gospel of Thomas, the Dead Sea Scrolls. I've got the Book of Jasher. I've got the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, the hidden ones, which is the one I just said was 19 chapters. Then I've got compilations, which are the Forgotten Books of Eden, the Lost Books of the Bible, etc., and so on. I try to collect everything that the Nicene Council decided shouldn't be in there. You know what I mean? Because you have to understand the King James Bible and all that good stuff. That's what we read nowadays is what Constantine decided to let us have. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I try to get everything that existed, and I try to organize it in a way where I have them each book run sequentially based on the subject or person it's talking about, and take it from there. But like I said, that's a me thing. So,
and I was gonna say, Lawrence, that you have to excuse Young Swift, aka Nikamaru, because he's trolling. Infinite troll.
Okay, all right. Well, like I said, I wasn't sure. He always makes me laugh, but the question seems serious, so I took it.
He put no. I'm sure the Wisdom of Solomon is in the 1611 right before Ecclesiasticus. So he just told you two books that don't exist.
Yeah. But as far as it goes for Bronzeberg, I hope I answered that appropriately or good enough for you,
bro. You already know. You'll give me more of the answer that I need, so it's already respect, bro.
No, I appreciate that. I just wanted to make sure I answered it exactly for what you needed. I can ramble on for a bit. We all know that. Yeah.
Bro, I'll even pass out the email and I'm gonna save the vid, so it's all good, bro.
All right, cool.
Straight.
So back to this light skin curl shit. Look, I just don't like this motherfucker. I'm gonna have to put him in the category. I'm gonna have to put him over in that space with Zero and New. I know he's not logical. You know what I'm saying? Because he's all wrapped up in his emotions and that thing. Just where my milk and cookies. But now let me stop. I'm just messing with you girls, man. You dogged me out bad last weekend, man. Talk about my old man memory. I'll forget everything next week. Oh, that was pretty funny though. That was funny. That was real good.
Yeah,
I think I wrote back in the chat. I hate you too, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so. And Curl, to your point, it's bad when you can't tell if Nikamaru is serious or not. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay.
But yes, Nikamaru, you are wrong. The books are called Songs of Solomon and Ecclesiastes, not Wisdom of Solomon and Ecclesiasticus.
Yeah. The Wisdom of Solomon is a totally different book. And I've been spending the past week listening over and over again.
He's saying they're in the 1611 of the Apocrypha.
1611 of the Apocrypha?
He's still saying Ecclesiasticus.
Yes, he is.
So I feel like he's trolling, even though he's
Okay. Now, He's correct. The Wisdom of Solomon is in that, but not the other
Okay.
one.
Gotcha.
This is what the Apocrypha has. The Apocrypha has first Esdras, second Esdras, the Book of Tobit, the Book of Judith, then the Wisdom of Solomon, which is the separate book of the 19 chapters I was talking about. Then they have Sirach, Baruch, the letter of Jeremiah, the prayer of Azariah, and the
I know what's
song of.
going on. I know
What's
what's
up?
going on.
He's confusing the two together.
He said Ecclesiasticus is Sirach. And then I was gonna say he's getting the names from two different books and combining them together.
Hold on a second. Well, he's partially correct because it depends on who you're asking. Because the entire book of Sirach is 51 chapters, but it's also called the Wisdom of Jesus, son of Sirach, and then it's also called Ben Sirah, and he is correct. It's also called the name that he called it.
Oh, okay.
It depends on who you're talking to. That's why I didn't understand what he was saying because I don't know about those other names. I only know about Sirach, but I'm looking at it now. He's actually correct. It is listed as being called that as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Dang.
but
Kamaru ain't trolling.
I wasn't sure. I thought he was being serious, so that's why I answered. See, and that's like that story with the little boy who kept crying wolf. See, when you play all the time, we don't know when you're serious, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Now he's trying to make the man face.
Yeah. And yes, Blaze, Ben Sirach does mean son of Sirach. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Peace to you, Bronzeberg. Thanks for coming up. And
he dropped off?
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Shalom. But anyway, there was some of the stuff you guys before I got up there. You were talking about some other channels or something that happened. I don't.
Oh yeah. The other reason why I didn't even have my normal setup was because I just seeing these religious helmet niggas in the chat over there, Bernard's, and it's too funny because when Ibrahim came up there with with Ike, and so he's like, he basically pointed out no, there's nothing in the Bible that discredits anything about science really. he said that people don't even understand. These people don't even understand the book that they're supposedly reading, and that's what it came down to.
Yeah, I get that. Because even when I'm up here and I'm talking with you guys in the whole 9 yards, my answer is still the same. Double check me. I can be wrong. I can. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to think that, I got a lot of information in my head in the whole 9 yards, but sometimes it gets jumbled up, just like it just did now with Young Swift.
Right. I mean, there's so much. There's so much information.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I appreciate everybody listens to me, and I'm pretty sure everybody appreciates when they're being listened to too. But at the end of the day, we still have a responsibility as men. Go check that shit. I'd be more hurt if you didn't check me than if you didn't. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you didn't check me, that would hurt me more. I would rather have you check me because if you learn something that I didn't get, that would be cool because you can come back and let me know, and I can take it from there. So yeah, double check me, man. Test like one of the streams you had. Test everything. It's supposed to be tested.
Yes, exactly, and which is said to do in the Bible. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, test and approve. I believe was it right? Test and approve everything.
Yes,
and Lawrence, they could check you, but the problem is they don't even go out of their way to read it at all.
Oh no! I'm talking about us here. That people here in the chat and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I want brothers to know because look, we talk enough. We've gotten to know each other enough over months or whatever it is that there should be no fear in saying, "Yo, Lawrence, I checked this. You were wrong." Okay, tell me. You know what I'm saying? We've all gotten to the point with each other. That nonsense is not necessary. We can talk to each other. You know what I mean? So I don't worry about the other ones because, well, I mean, they're stupid. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, they're stupid and they're foolish. They do what they do. So, you know, but most definitely among us, I expect that. I really do. You know, that's why, nah, man, I don't think that shit Lawrence said is right. I'm gonna go double check that. Hell yeah. Knock yourself out. I'm good.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything less would be disappointing to me.
Okay. Sigma's saying your device isn't connected, so.
Who, my device?
No, Sigma.
Oh, that's why you dropped off?
Yeah.
Okay. But I saw a link that you sent me about Black Church or something like that.
Oh yeah, there was
I saved
Friday.
I saved it to my playlist. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah. It was pretty
see
good
what
when
that's
they
about.
had. It was pretty good when they had over at Red Sings the Blues Friday. It was a pretty good one. So
Okay.
I gotta finish. I came in a little late, but I gotta finish that one. So
It looked like it was like an hour and 50 minutes or something like that.
it may have been. I can't remember because, like I said, I wasn't even there for the whole entirety of it. So.
Okay. You back, Sigma? You good?
Yeah. For some reason my Wi-Fi is being a little unstable. We had an outage last night, so I don't know if it's if it's still acting up or not.
Yeah, because you're not Borgin, but you are a little choppy sometimes.
Okay, so yeah, it's probably the Wi-Fi. Gotta do some troubleshooting tonight.
Yeah. And Lawrence, Nick Amaru says, by the way, I proved Lawrence wrong.
Hey, yo, man, bravo. Yo, bravo.
Next week, Lawrence.
Say again?
You better get your vengeance next week on him, Lawrence, like you did me.
No, you know what? Let him come up and take my spot next week. How about that? No, but seriously though, Young Swift, man, that was good, man. Like I said, man, I love that stuff. I love that. I never in my life that I can recall have a problem being wrong. I'm okay with it. So, but if I had anything to say, I'll say this. Yo, we gotta find some kind of code for you to put in so we realize when you're serious. Because that was the only mistake. That was the only mistake.
See,
wasn't sure if he was trolling or not.
That's the point of him being Nick Amaru now. That's the point of why we call him Nick Amaru now.
Okay.
It fits right in with it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So he's just got to change his name in his profile pic, and it'd be right on.
Yeah, right. Oh, what's up, Blaze? Shalom, man. So we're just specifically talking about church, right? Are we just talking about everything in general?
Yeah, it can flow today. Like I said,
okay.
with the whole religious helmet strap niggas today, that shit, it's just it's too hilarious to see these people.
Yeah,
and I understand why people with got some sense can't talk to them.
Yeah. I think and we've talked about this, and we've talked about it personally. Yuri and I have talked about it personally. MOT, so on and so forth. Right, maybe a little bit before I went on Passover, man. That the stuff I had saw and the stuff I had heard was that was crazy for me. That was crazy for me, and I kind of put them over in that same group with religious people and thought processes, man. You want to come in here and act like you got the knowledge and information on something that you either haven't read or haven't even tested yourself, but you want to try and sell it to everybody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just bugged me out. I'm sorry, what's that? Dorian Nance. That's why
That's what I respect about Lawrence.
What did I do?
Oh, about you pretty much just being being real and on the fact of what you said earlier about
Yeah, okay, what's
test
wrong?
it, make sure that
Oh, about being
what I'm
wrong?
telling
Oh
you is
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Um, but the other stuff is I don't know, man. It kind of hurt my heart. I'm not even gonna lie. like I told you and
Mm.
Yuri, man. It just hurt my heart, man, to realize, I mean, it's bad. Well, it's all and like you and Yuri have told me many times, it's always going to be worse than what I assume, and it always proves to be right.
Yeah,
Because just when you think it can't get worse, it does.
that's it.
So it's
As
it's it's
New
mind
says,
boggling.
when people say, what, never, what is it? Benefit of the instead of giving the benefit of the doubt, I doubt the benefit.
Yeah. That's new. Yeah, that's definitely new. Yeah, that's definitely new. But yeah, man. I don't. You gotta take those breaks from this place, man. You gotta take the breaks from this place.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and you
my
can't take
favorite.
this
Oh,
place too
food.
seriously.
Oh, food bar. I haven't heard of food bar in a long time, man. Yeah. You guys know what food bar is, right?
Yeah, last time I heard it was on a Jeopardy episode.
No,
Man, look,
actually, it comes from Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. When they in a movie, like in the late '80s, where they played two cops. It means fucked up beyond all recognition.
oh,
And we use
gotcha.
it in the
Fucked up
military, and we use it,
beyond.
yeah, and we use it in the military too. But that's the first time I ever heard
Cool.
it. Yeah. I hadn't seen Food Bar in a long time.
Yeah, that's a whole lot. Yeah, that term applies to a whole lot of niggas in this damn space. Yeah.
hmm hmm Oh man, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, you just gotta take a break from it, you know.
Mhm.
You know. So, and there's some brothers that I like in this space, but I can see some of them starting to crack. So,
Oh hell no, y'all. Hey, oh hell no, nigga Maru. No, I know he did not do that, nigga Maru.
what happened? I missed that. What was that? What was that?
Yeah, Young Swift put
Look
a
at his
comment to
comment.
girls.
Oh, by the
Oh,
way,
by
light
the
skin
way,
girls, that's another dub for me. It's like, I ain't mad at him. Collect them like Pokemon, man. Just get these,
Yeah,
catch them all.
he's saying it because of last night. He was on his shit last night in Mortal Kombat 11. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's feeling himself now.
yeah.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
It's like when I tried to fix my TV and it blew up twice. I gave up and bought another one.
Oh man, yo, dreads. I did that before too, man. I did that before. The connector in the back, man, wasn't working right, man. I tried to disconnect it and try to get to the thing to tighten it up, and all it's and then just smoke. That's all. Just a quick stop, and then it's smoke everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, oh. The price of
Yes,
productivity is large. Yes, it is. Yes,
it
it is.
is. It is, Rory.
Yep. It's a very, very, very large. But at the same time, what you get back out of it,
Yeah, the reward is
it's
right.
worth the price. It's definitely worth the price. You know. But Omega Dreads was ducking my last night. He's young
I
Swift.
told yeah, hey, he's back on his Nickamaru mode. Yeah.
Yep, he is.
hmm But yeah, but I mean, there's more I want to say, and there's more I want to talk deeper about what my concerns are, but I don't want to do it because I don't want to call people's names out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Because we got enough bitch fuckery going on. You know what I mean?
yeah, I got you. And to make Dre's point, I'm still amazed humans can say world peace and not bust up laughing on camera. Yeah, you
Oh, they
can't.
practice.
Yeah, yeah, you can't take that shit seriously. Yeah,
Oh, Jay Wolf, you saw my name. Okay.
yeah, that's what he's laughing about. Yeah.
but but yeah, man, I'm learning to take it. I'm learning to take it a lot easier. You know, and like I said before, we gonna lose some. That's just the way.
Oh
That's just
yeah,
the way it works.
yeah. That's how it works. You already, I would trade places with these non-productive dudes if they sent me 7 versions.
Damn.
Yeah. You know, it's something you mentioned, Isaac, because one time I had to kind of like contemplate and think for a bit. If God Himself, Yah, came down and says, "Look, here's something I'm going to do. I can redo your high school years to where all of a sudden now you're the big guy on campus and you get all the women back there that didn't want you and whatnot, but at the price of you won't have a productive life outside of high school." If y'all was to give me that, I would tell them I'll decline because I would, like you said, I wouldn't want to trade places with these high school buffoons who feel like that their high school years were the best years of their life, and they're still trying to relive their high school years.
Yeah.
Yep, remember we were talking about that earlier, Sigma, like any of my high school people, like they were still just trying to stay clicked up and relive their high school lives with each other, even after college, some of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and yeah, the same thing with me, man. I mean, you know, the last one I went to was what 25th or 30th, one of those. Um, and even after the reunion was over, man, that's whenever I talk to any of them, it's always the same shit, man. The best years of my life was in high school, and I said, then you led a shitty life. I mean, if that's all you got, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've grown up. I've gone to college. I've done the military. I've traveled. I've had beautiful children. I mean, come on now. You got to give me something better than 4 years. You know, you're 54 fucking years old. You know what I'm saying? You're 54. Some of you 55. You telling me out of the entire year life you can only count 4 years? Get the fuck out of here. That's
Yeah.
tragic.
You don't make a dress. It's the Letterman jacket game. That's
Yeah. Yeah, and then they start going around, and especially the women, start going through their Rolodex because you know all they doing is sitting there, you know, plotting and calculating. Damn, that's the nigga I ain't give no attention to because I thought he was a nerd or I thought he was this or whatever have you made. And now that you in your 50s, you hit the wall. Your best years behind you. You're struggling because you single mother. You know what I'm saying? All this.
yeah.
Now you want to start clocking and playing with the dudes that you ignored in high school, thinking you're gonna get something out of it now. Or you do it the other way, and now you got a chance. You're already proving you a hoe. So now let's go out and get the niggas I never fucked with back in the day. This is stupid shit, man. And the dudes come in there with the fucking alpha mentality, trying to pretend they still jocks and shit like that, and yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so you sprinted in high school. So what? That was 16 years old. Let me see your 54-year ass go up against one now. Come on, man, stop. Grow the fuck up. There's nothing wrong with growing old, man. There's a pride in that. You know what I'm saying? And then even scripture, you know what I'm saying? The strength of a young man is in his loins, but the wisdom in an older man is the grays on his hair, man. I love my gray. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I grew up in fucking Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, man, at the beginning of crack, gangbangs, and AIDS epidemic, man. You know how many fucking people I lost? Shit, my ass is just happy to have made it. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? I'm just happy I made it. You know what I'm saying? That I'm even here to have a conversation because I buried a lot of motherfuckers. And then going into combat, I buried more people. You feel what I'm saying? I'm lucky to be here. I'm blessed. Like, I'm blessed as all hell. I'm trying to relive no dumb shit when I was a kid. Get the fuck out of here.
Well,
Yeah, you're right.
I think the other thing too you have to look at is that also that well, these niggas are lazy anyway. So when they were in school, they really have to do shit. According, that's what they live their life. They got everything. They just chilled out. They got everything for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was talking with my co-host Paul Logic Finest on the War Room not too long ago, and we're actually going to do a kind of like a sub-series to the War Room where I'm going to be traveling to places kind of like around the States and even around the world, try to look at like World War II artifacts and kind of do some on-location videos where we kind of look at some machines of the past, like as far as like tanks and all. There's even some aircraft back from World War II that's still operational. So I'm going to go to those places to kind of take flights, so kind of zoom in a bit. And my co-host, he was like, you're definitely not you're definitely not the average black person, because who actually goes out of their way to travel to these places just to show artifacts of World War II stuff? And I was like, well, that's just me. Why would I spend the rest of my life stuck at a place, in a city where, so for the past 20 or something years, I have nothing going for me but except for game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Well, that's a good point, Omega Dreads. I had thought that before too. That these same people we talk about, they came online only to be cool again. I used to think that, actually.
Oh yeah.
But I wasn't sure if I was just bugging out. But yeah, I thought the same thing. Hey, what's up, Unspecialist? Yeah, I used to think the same thing, but I just in one ear and out the other. I just put it in the back of my mind. But the more time goes on, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
What man in their right mind would want a woman to stagnate them with kids at a young age? Absolutely, because Black Curls wrote that. Because here's the thing, it's reversed. Because it's not supposed to be men who have children at a young age. It's supposed to be women who have children at a young age. Because those are her prime years.
Yeah, because I was responding to Young Swift's comment in particular, and Unspecialist even addressed it also.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I addressed it as well. I put in there. I think Young Swift crazy for even want to have him being in this damn environment.
Yeah. But I know after that last one, and when was that? They've had one every year since, but I think that last one I went to, that was 2010. Yeah, actually it was 2010, 2009 to 2009, 2010. That was the year I cut everything off. From high school, my family, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. Yeah. And I never went back. I keep getting notifications from classmates.com and all that good stuff. Reunions coming up. I'm not trying to see that shit. I'm not trying to see that shit. Yeah. And the dudes and everybody's asking for something. You feel what I'm saying? No, I'm dead ass.
I know it's not surprising, man. It's funny, but it's not surprising.
Yeah, I mean, if I have any advice to anybody who wants to go back to their high school reunion, do not tell motherfuckers what you do for a living.
Yeah.
Don't. Because they all looking for the come up. I mean, I've had people like, yo, man, can you help me set up a website? You know what I'm saying? So I could start, my own news blog, or well, you repair computers in your spare time and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Can you come check out my computer? And the next thing you know is, can you check out my mom's computer? I mean, then the other stuff's like, well, you doing real estate. Can you come help me with it? Nah, man, that's not what the fuck I'm here for. Well, you know what I'm saying? We grew up together. No, we didn't. We just had a couple of classes. That is not growing up together. I grew up with my cousin William and my cousin Denise and the rest of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? We were around each other all the time. I just see you Monday through Wednesday, 2 periods a day. Come on, man. That's like what, 90 minutes? You know what I'm saying? You can we didn't grow up together. We just went to class together. That's it.
I'm laughing because of girls and Nikomaru.
Oh, okay.
I ain't capping, yo. That's what your kid's gonna be. Shikamaru has Shikadai, so Nikamaru's gonna have Nikadai kids.
What is that? Omega. Oh, so you went through that too, Omega Dreads? I see you said I was
Yeah.
dead ass right about they all asked for shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, you go to your reunion like, yo, man. So what you doing now? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I don't like lying, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm unemployed, man. You know what I'm saying?
What a black man gonna do? I'm like, nice try, Satan. Ask me about my plans online. Yeah, yeah, Omega Dreads. What have you built? What are you gonna build?
Mm,
Oh
mm.
man.
But yeah, that's been my experience with it. And again, suddenly all the pussy that ignored you suddenly wants you.
Yeah.
And then they trying to gaslight you. Well, didn't you ever know? Didn't you realize that I liked you in school? I ain't realized shit. You never talked to me. Well, couldn't you tell by the way I looked at you and batted my eyes? Nah, bitch, I don't mind read. I don't do that shit. I don't do that shit. I
Oh
mean,
man.
they'll come up with some crazy shit, man.
Oh,
I
it's
mean, some
funny.
crazy shit. And then if you like for instance, I didn't date, I didn't do anything. Like I said, I was a virgin till 19 and all that good shit. So girls weren't really on my radar. You feel me saying? I had my comic books, I had my Star Trek, I was doing my nerd thing and I was happy with it. Now was there a girl that I thought was cute? Yeah. I used to have a crush on Myra Santiago, right? And
Uh-oh.
yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Uh-oh.
But I never did anything with it. You know, like I said, I wasn't into girls like that. She was cute. I had a crush on her. End of story. It's not a big fucking deal. I'm 14, 15 fucking years old. It's a kid thing. I'm a grown ass now. I'm a grown ass man now, so I don't look at her the same way as I do now. But you
No,
couldn't
nigga,
tell
you supposed to
that.
fuck on them.
But you couldn't tell that to these bitches nowadays. I
You
mean, I
supposed to
mean,
fuck
grown.
on them, Lawrence.
I mean, grown ass women after the fucking reunion would sit there. Well, why Myra? I'm like, what? The fuck are you talking about? So, well, I heard you had a crush on Myra when we were in high school. Yeah, so? He said, yeah, but why Myra? Well, none of your fucking business, bitch. Well, I
You
gotta
supposed
be
to.
all that. I was like, yo, who the fuck are you to come up and question me about how I feel or thought about somebody? Get the fuck out of here. Well, you still feel that way about her now? Why? You want a little something, something? You know what I mean? I mean,
Ah,
dude, they are fucking crazy, yo.
that's
And
funny.
even my mom had talked to me about that. She said, all these years I never knew you liked her like that. You guys would have made a good couple. I was like, yeah, so. And she's like, so you gonna do anything about it? I'm not doing a damn thing. I don't like her. And she's like, what? I said, look, I'm a conservative. She's a SJW. Not gonna happen.
Oh
I don't
damn.
like I don't like the way she raises her kids. I don't like her politics. I don't like the way she keeps house. I don't like the way she cooks. None of it. And again, I'm in my 50s. You're trying to equate something when I was fucking 14 years old to a 50-something-year-old man. I don't give a fuck. I've outgrown that shit. You understand the absurdity of this shit? We're all in our fucking 50s, and these motherfuckers are sitting here trying to debate about something that happened when somebody was 14. That's stupid.
Oh, it's just funny. It's funny. And yes, Omega Dreads, yes, they want you to build so they can knock it down. Yes. That's what it is. They want you to build. So yeah, you gotta build on the low. Yes, that's it.
And and
That's
and,
it.
and that last thing he wrote, because she was hot. Here's the funny thing. What I saw with my eyes at 14 is not what I see with my eyes at 54. She was not hot. If I look, if it with 54-year-old eyes now, and I look at those pictures when we were kids, she really wasn't, dude. She really wasn't. Now, to my 14-year-old eyes, she was, but to a grown ass man's eyes, dude, I've seen and done better, way better. No offense, but that's the
There
facts.
you go. There you go. And yeah, young stuff, yeah. Uh I pretty much rock along for the most part too throughout throughout my adult life. Yeah, and you'll find once you get older too that your circle shrinks by a lot. So
Omega Dreads, don't fuck with me. I will hunt you down.
Yeah, come on, she was a little simmer.
I will hunt you down. No, but I mean, in all honesty, what you see with your eyes at 14 is not what you see when you get older. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the same thing. And you realize that, okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, she would have been all right for a little fun, but I mean, she wasn't all that. That's all I'm saying. She wasn't all that. Man, please. What's that? I got the same response several years ago. Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, I had to do the same thing. Kick everybody from high school. Thank you for saying that, Lawrence. Every girl is a 10 when you. Yeah. Because you're some fucking hormones and shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you dress the doorknob up just right, we'd be happy with the keyhole. Just saying. I mean, we're young. We're hormones. We're hormonal. That's all that shit is.
Okay.
But
a little sizzler salad bar.
Okay. So you try to take Curl's place from last week. You go fuck with me, all right?
and yes, young Swift, yeah. It's gonna be, or at least the people that you fool with, you just won't, you won't keep in contact as much. That's pretty much what happened here.
Yeah. Because
I was just saying, go ahead. My bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, because what I do now is that I always imagine a bullseye target, and I'm standing in the center of it, and each circle from my center represents who's closest to me. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So the first ring, because like standing in that circle with me, that's my cousin William. You feel what I'm saying? Then the next circle would be the next group of people, and then so on and so forth. So I know in my head what level. I always maintain in my mind what level somebody should be of importance. And that's my little trick. That's how I do it. Because if you do, because each circle gets a certain level of respect and stuff from me, where the next circle outwards will never get to that level. You know what I'm saying?
No, man, stupid.
She haven't grown up. What does that mean?
Talk about Maria. Hey, you know the old Uncle Pervert. Like whenever the younger chick done come around and they done grown up, we in zero talk about they'll look say, man, she done grown up.
Oh, I remember that. Okay.
He being funny about that, talking about your little crush in high school. She done grown up.
She done grown up. Solid, yeah, that dirty old man talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I used to change your diapers, girl. You done grown up.
I'm like, exactly.
Man, that's nasty, man. Shut up.
Exactly.
Telling a grown ass woman used to change her diaper. Shut up, man. We be calling them Hall of Fame plate cleaners. Oh wow. Okay. I'm sorry, Eisen. What?
But Lawrence, she done grown up though.
and still fucked up. And still fucked up. Yeah, she done growed up, but she growed up and still fucked up. But like I said, women just they used to drive me up the fucking wall. And then I hit that place, man, where it's like, okay, I get what Eisen's saying. This shit is entertaining. And I just sit there and I watch it. And then, like I said, and then after a while, I started cutting them off and shit like that. And like I said, I don't deal with them. Yeah. They still try to reach out on me on Messenger. They still try to reach out to me on all this other shit, left and right. Oh, speaking of Messenger, just a PSA real quick. I haven't read the report yet, but I got a thing. It looks like Facebook was hacked. 533 million accounts had their phone numbers, emails, and pictures posted online. So anybody who's got Facebook, double check your shit.
Damn.
So personal information, pictures, emails, phone numbers, all that good shit. But yeah, I think the count was 533 million got hacked.
Damn.
I think is what it was. So that's almost half their database, because I think Facebook has like a billion people, right? A billion accounts or people follow or whatever.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like I said, I haven't read it yet, but yeah.
Ah.
So, like I said, double check your shit just to be on the safe side. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to change. But it popped in my head when I started talking about my shit.
Gotcha.
So everybody,
No, hey, it's
just
good
watch yourself.
information.
Just watch yourself and double check. I went over that crypto stuff last night. That was insane. They're specifically going after Bitcoin, and they already
Yep.
they already got I already watched two body cam and citizen recordings where they actually raided two locations that was running Bitcoin.
Wow.
and they brought in treasury agents. It wasn't police, it was treasury agents. These boys are getting serious. And like I said, they also filed a lawsuit with the SEC and federal government against Bitcoin. And then after that, they're going to start going after smaller
Coin.
Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm sorry.
They were already trying to do a Ripple.
Right. They also attacked Libri, LBRY, if I remember it correctly. And something
Yeah,
else. I want to say Odyssey, I think is the other one.
Damn. Man, these
So yeah,
banks ain't playing.
look, man, I warned everybody last year. I did.
Damn, shit. Niggas might need to cash out. Well, shit.
If you can, because you got to understand, if they're
Yeah.
raiding places, and they're seizing your equipment in Bitcoin,
Oh,
that
yeah.
means like anything else, that money goes to the government. They don't give it back.
Yeah. Damn.
So if you got like, if you got like 3 pieces of Bitcoin and each one's 50 grand, that's 150,000, and you might have paid 25,000 for each. You just lost 75 grand. You're not getting that back. And like I said, this is not surprising. Like I said, their game plan is to create their own government version. They're not going to have competition. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, too decentralized.
Yes, checking for you. That's correct. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that for me. Yeah, they're going after Bitcoin miners. Yeah, my bad. And yes, it was FDIC and IRS. Well, the Treasury agents are from the IRS. That's where they're from.
I mean, yeah, the bank, America, the United States is heavily invested into the bank. So shit, if it ain't nothing that they ain't profiting off of now, they're like, fuck that shit. Now we can't let that shit go.
And it's funny because instead of the FDIC and IRS, I would have expected it to be the FTC and the IRS. I'm sorry, I'm talking to checking for you. My bad.
Okay, that's cool.
I actually would have expected the IRS and the FTC. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you look at their sub laws, the Federal Trade Commission does have some leverage to pull this off, even as much as the FDIC. Actually, you know what? Let me correct myself. Truth be told, I'm surprised it wasn't all three. That's what I should say. I'm surprised it wasn't all three. But I know one of the things was on some nonsense about money laundering, or something like that. Because like I said, I just watched it. I just watched it real quick. So checking for you probably has more on it than I do, or at least it's fresher in his head. but yeah, it's it is what it is.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, they.
Oh, you did change it from light skin to brown skin. Okay, my bad. I just saw that, girls.
Yeah. Hey, look, dog on there. He's still light skinned. He just changed the name. That's all. It's okay though. It's okay.
Yes, checking for you. That's what I was trying to say. That's why I was saying I'm surprised they weren't in it as well, because they do have stakes in it as far as it goes for security of industry. Yeah, absolutely. And then you're talking about wireless communications and Bitcoin mining and stuff like that. And the FTC pretty much handles the stuff with internet capabilities, wireless transmissions, etc., and so on. That's why I was surprised they didn't have agents show up there with that as well. That's what I was trying to get out. But I know one thing, and I'm not trying to be rude, just keeping it real. All those channels I've known over the years who've been pushing this whole thing about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and other versions of it, it's about to get rough. It's about to get rough because if that lawsuit works against Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the biggest dog on the block, you best believe it's going to trickle down
all
to
the
the little
others are gonna follow because it sets the market for all the others.
Yeah, because Bitcoin is the hugest, man. It's the biggest one out there.
Yeah,
And that's why you do it. You target the big one to scare the little ones. That's what you do.
Well, better start changing your content.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they need to change their content. I just know that they've been pushing people to get into it, over and over again and talking about how great it is. And don't get me wrong, it might still survive in some smaller fashion, but it's going to survive with heavy regulation to it if it does. Because, like I said, the government is not going to have competition for its own version. They're not going to have that.
yeah,
Because you got to, because like I said last year, again, even before Biden was elected, Nancy Pelosi already had a bill in play to replace the fiat dollar with cryptocurrency. I mean, she had it prepped and ready, and he hadn't even been elected yet. We didn't even know the results. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this is a plan for them. So like I said, they're not, they're not gonna compete with somebody else. They're gonna wipe everybody else off the map. That's just, because let's be real. We've been watching them bitch about Bitcoin working inside the fiat currency system for what, 10 years, maybe more. And they didn't like it then. So it's not like this. It's not like their dissatisfaction with it is new. You know what I'm saying? They just waited till they got all their ducks in order to make that move.
right.
Yeah. So, but for everybody who's got, man, I wish them well. I really do. But this is not a good sign. It's one thing when you legislate from the bench and you make up rules and regulations and all that good stuff. It's another thing when you start sending agents out to raid. That's a whole new level. That's a whole new level.
Yeah, it's exactly what they're doing. Checking for you.
the Eagle coin. That's funny. Checking for you. You're right. Yeah, it's doing its best to take out the competition with policy. Yeah, and that's what I meant about legislating from the bench. That's what's unusual. Usually you'd have they put together a Senate committee, based on this stuff. They come to a conclusion, then they start drafting policies and statutes to create new laws to curtail it. That's generally the first response, but they went in reverse. They actually went and raided first and then filed the lawsuit. That's what's worrisome to me. Because usually it's you do the policies and stuff first to make sure it's on the books. So you actually have something to fall back on when you make the raid. They didn't do that. As a matter of fact, in one of the videos and body cams, the guy who owned the place had said, "Where's my warrant?" And the guy wouldn't answer him. And he said, "I'm at least entitled to a warrant." And the officer looked at him dead in his face and said, "No, you're not." Got in his car and drove the fuck off.
Dang.
That's where we at with this shit. He literally got in the car and said, "No, you're not," and closed the fucking door. I was like, "Oh shit."
Wow.
And I was like, okay, here we go. Because I'm telling you, if they get away with this, they're gonna get away with a whole bunch of other shit that's coming later. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but yeah, just wanted to put that out there, man. Just watch yourself, guys. Just watch yourselves.
Yeah.
And I also find it funny that the way the government wants to take control of Facebook and Twitter and the rest of that, and suddenly all of a sudden out of nowhere, Facebook gets hacked for half its members. That's
Yeah.
an interesting time frame. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. Like I said, I don't know shit about Bitcoin. I'm not really good on social media, but I know government. So I'm just watching.
Yeah.
I'm just watching.
Chick,
So
Chick said they already did. Damn.
they already did what?
I'm guessing.
I'm sorry,
Must be
I threw out a couple of
crypto.
things.
Yeah, it must be talking about crypto, maybe.
The policies, maybe.
Maybe so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, Dorian Nance.
Yeah, that's what I was
Josiah
talking
David,
about.
Cryptos and Expert Channels. Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
those are the dudes I was talking about. Those are the when I was talking about stuff like that. Those are the dudes I was talking about. Because every last one of them up there talking about crypto, and probably don't even know nothing about what they're talking about anyway. That's generally how it goes. Oh, you're talking about Facebook? Yeah, Facebook's been compromised since 2000. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
but everything from the CIA and everything else down the line. But the thing about Facebook, they've had breaches before where data was either stolen or quote unquote given away. But I've never seen this large of a number. Like I said, Facebook is a million person, not, I'm sorry, 1 billion person / 1 billion account membership organization. And you're talking about 533 million got snatched. That's more than half a billion people's data that was just stolen. That's half of its platform. You feel what I'm saying? It's never had that level before. Never. You know, a couple of million here and there. Yeah, that's happened once or twice, but more than half a billion. That's a crazy ass number, dude. Do you know how long you have to sit? Even if you are fast, even if you've got the most powerful machines, stealing a half a billion account names, email addresses, phone numbers, comment sections, photos,
It's a lot of
history.
work.
That takes time. You can't just come in and do that shit in like a quick 3 to 5 minutes and you out the fucking door. You'd have to sit there, you know, and I'm being gracious here because I really don't know, but at minimum you need an hour. That's a lot of fucking data. And we're not talking about a partial history. They stole the entire history. So you're looking at each account being at minimum 13, 14 years worth of data per each account. Now multiply that by 533 million accounts. That takes time. You can't just come in and do that shit willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? So that's questionable to me. That's just not something you can just come in real quick and do. It's not. And I'm not trying to be an ass, but like it used to be back in the day when you ran when you would rob a jewelry store, you didn't get all technical. You came in, you smashed and grabbed. You know what I'm saying? You smash and grab, and then you run the fuck out the door. That's not that kind of a gig. That's going to take time. You have to be there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mo. That's what I was saying.
I
I'm
believe it is
suspect
on
on it.
purpose. I believe it would.
Yeah. Yep. So that kind of stuff makes me nervous, man. You know, I mean, I'm not even into all that. I don't have any stake in it, but it is still something worrisome because, like I said, if they get away with it with these things, that it ain't too far before they start getting away with things that does matter to me. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, cookies, absolutely. That's why I never accept them. I never accept them, and I clear. At least I try to. I clear my browser history. You know, set up automatically when it closes. It clears everything.
Damn, and I like peanut butter and chocolate chip.
But yeah. It's just like I said, man. And MOT said it too, and a couple other people, man. You know, when we say running out of time, it's not a fucking euphemism. It's not a euphemism. You got to lay your foundation now, and if it takes a while, that's fine. But it's got to kick off at minimum by 2023, and hopefully come to some level of fruition by 2025. Because after that, they're shutting doors. They're locking doors. They're not letting anybody get to a level of elevation of success because they're trying to keep it all to themselves. Between the upper 1% in the government, they're not trying to let nobody in. They're closing doors. Because if you notice, everything they're attacking is an entrepreneurship thing that made people billionaires.
Yeah. Basically, it's like Lady Dress is saying it during the chat. The government is saying, "Shut up about all that and go get married, niggas."
That's exactly what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Because look, you have to control the money, and you have to control the population, and you have to control the communications, right? The money, they're taking away Bitcoin. Now you have no choice but to use their shit. The communications, social media, CIA's watching it, and you're getting hacked all the time. They got control of that. Controlling the populace. How do you do that? You control the men with the women. And think about what I'm saying here, because the women are partners with the government. Because as soon as you get married, she's going to control your sexual needs because she's the gatekeeper to sex. Women are gatekeepers to sex. It is what they are. If they say no, it's shit out of luck. Which also gives them control of the children, which immediately after that, the government will back them. Right? The government will back them anything they want to do. You know what I'm saying? And that man has to live in fear because he has to make sure he does everything she says, and like you say, Eisen, bow to her and give homage, because if not, she can ruin his fucking world.
Yeah.
It's a game with a lot of moving pieces, but if you really sit down and look at it, you'll start to see they all connect. They all fucking connect. And then how do you control the women? Communications. And did I not just say about social media?
Oh yeah.
Because that's their drug. Because for the men, the drug is the pussy. For the women, it's the attention from social media. It all rolls together, man. Yeah, it all connects perfectly.
Yeah, damn, yeah. McDrez, I was gonna say, you at the gate, you married, sir. Yeah, they're gonna be trying to lock your ass up for not being married.
Now I tell you what's gonna be interesting. What's really gonna be interesting is watching New York for the next year. Because the commission in New York has taken away police officers' qualified immunity.
Nice.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, we took away.
That's interesting.
New York City police officers no longer have qualified immunity.
Damn.
Think about that.
They're gonna have to be careful now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody gets shots up in the street, oh well.
Yep. And the funny part is that police don't have to have qualified immunity, because you got to understand, qualified immunity is not a state thing. Qualified immunity is something the Supreme Court created themselves. Again, legislating from the bench without paying attention to what's really going on in the trenches. And the difficulty is that, let's be real, maybe once or twice in the last century has the Supreme Court ever overruled or changed its own ruling.
Right.
Ooh.
So you got to understand that this is not a state thing. They're just going along with it because the Supreme Court. But every state has a right to say, nah, we're not doing that, which is why New York got away with it. Every cop is pissed as a motherfucker. But my thing is that if you ain't doing nothing wrong, why would you be pissed?
And see, that's what kind of gets me as far as like with this whole marching and how about we need to get more involved so they can hear us and whatnot. If these governments are already making plans without your assistance, then you're wasting your time with all these marches and protests and everything. That's not how politics work. You need money to make things work in politics. But you explain this to black folks, it goes way over their head.
They get emotional.
Yeah.
Right,
Because
definitely,
well, it always takes money. You got to be a lobbyist. That's the shit right there. Because I mean, let's be real. That's what controls everything. Lobbyists. You got enough money, you can throw it enough. You can throw enough money at it. You can get what you want. That's why I keep telling people, money's a tool, and if it's used effectively, man, you can make shit happen. But you know, you can't talk to black people. Every company and every group has a lobbyist, but us.
Yep.
And when I say, and I'm not saying there's not any black lobbyists. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that represents black people as a whole.
Yeah, as a
And the
collective.
reason why we don't have that is because motherfuckers can't even come together long enough to agree on what the whole is. If it ain't hood niggas being mad because there's lame ass niggas, it's dark skinned niggas being mad at light skinned niggas.
Hey, hold on. We come together long enough to agree on what the whole is. The actual whole.
I got you. I play on words. I got you. Okay. But say again.
We have another problem. You know, niggas can't get along because they hate curls also.
Yeah, right. but I mean, it's always something, man. It's always something. I mean, look, even like Sigma was saying earlier, each group has people in its own group that it don't like. You know what I'm saying? I used to have this conversation with somebody before. Every group has its own version of cockroaches. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you take the totality of black people, regardless of where they come from, the vast majority of them would say the lowest people on the rung for us is Haitians. If you take all the Spanish people, regardless of where they come, they would all agree that the lowest people on their bottom, the lowest people on their totem pole are Mexicans. Every group has that one section in it. But at the end of the day, unlike us, they can all put that shit behind them if they have to get some shit done.
Mm-hmm.
You feel? I mean, even with Chinese, because I'm pretty sure you know this, Sigma. Because before we got to the point of the predominant people speaking Mandarin, there was a fight going back and forth between whether or not it should be Mandarin or Cantonese. Correct?
Yep, that's correct.
So I mean, they were arguing even on language. You know what I'm saying? So, but yet when time comes, they shut the fuck up and they come together and they get their shit done. You feel me? But we can't do that. We cannot do that to save our fucking lives. And that's been proven time and time again for over 400 years. Just can't do it.
And to be quite honest, it would not surprise me if the next 50, 60 years, Black America will literally become a race of in servitude all by themselves. And they got
by choice.
By choice. Got nobody to blame but themselves. They're literally setting themselves up to become in servitude servants.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because to go back to exactly what you said, Lawrence, because when push comes to shove, when it gets down to the serious stuff, as a collective, we're not on the same page. You still have people who will argue you down when you try to tell them that, look, if you want to make things happen, you got to develop some sort of economic plan. And then when you get them to talk about economic plan, sad to say, but Zero's right. If it doesn't involve pussy, forget it.
Yeah. Now I want to say something to that real quick, but before I do, Eisen, Yuri was asking for the link.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, all right, cool. I just want to make sure you saw it. But in reference to what you were saying, so here's the thing that offends me. One of the main things that offends me. And you know what? No, let me scratch that. It's the number one thing that offends me. You have these motherfuckers who come in and they argue for the sake of arguing. They actually agree with you, whether they admit it or not. They agree with you, but black people just want to argue for the fucking sake of arguing, even when they know you right.
Yes.
They just want to be fucking contrary for no reason other than they can.
Yeah, always talking about, well, let me play the devil's advocate. For
Yeah,
what?
like yo, that motherfucker don't need your help. He can do it all by himself. I told somebody that one time. I really did. I told somebody that shit one time.
That's because that's because they want to be him. So hey, let them do it. Fuck it. Exactly how they are.
Y'all had everybody rolling that day. Man, why do you? And because every time one of us say something, this motherfucker want to be contrary, even though he's trying. Well, I agree with you, but let me just say him. And I'm like, dude, why do you keep doing that? We're doing what? If you agree, then what the fuck are you throwing out shit at it for? And he's like, no, it's not that. Off. It's not that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm like, what the fuck for? That nigga got his own job. He can handle it by himself. He don't need you, nigga.
I'm like, wait, and why are you taking a stand that you don't agree with? What?
Yeah. And then everybody started laughing. And he's sitting there looking stupid and shit. And I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to be a dick, man. I'm being real shit. Since when the devil needs your fucking help?
Hey, Nigga Maru brought up the point. Because they don't really agree with your ass. Yeah. That's why.
But he's right. But here's the trick to that: they really don't agree with you, but at the same time, they can't say you're wrong. So instead of just shutting the fuck up and sitting there, they'd rather just throw everything out and see whatever hit the fucking wall and sticks. Contrary, just for the sake of being contrary. That's some tragic shit.
What you gotta think, man? These niggas, they can't have their whole identity checked.
Yeah. I get the I get that.
What's
Shalom,
up,
Yuri. Shalom.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Shalom. And happy Easter to everybody who celebrates Easter and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's right. It is Easter.
Yeah.
I'm with Eisen. Yeah. Happy Backstabber Day.
Yeah, that's me. Happy Backstabber Day.
To everybody. But, considering we're in this space, we have to concede that for a lot of people, pussy is the plan. Pussy is the plan
absolutely.
for a lot of these people. So obviously they're gonna go for what the plan is.
Yeah, right? Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Look, don't expect anything legendary out of this space. Most of this space is not built off that premise. 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, Yuri, I'm gonna say this. I think you can expect legendary fuckery.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. There will always be some case studies that are far beyond our senses. But anything productivity, I agree.
And it was some today too, boy. My bad, Yuri.
What happened today, bro?
Oh man. Over there. Curls was talking about Ramil's, but I seen it over there at Bernard's with these religious helmet niggas. Yeah, they're always. Yeah. I knew that one was gonna have some great fuckery in that when they had the White Jesus title. That shit was. I knew it was gonna be some case studies over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's look, 99% of these dudes is over the hill dudes, ain't got nothing to show. It's just like, hey man, don't be just like me, accept the fuckery. You know what I mean? That's what it is with 90% of these dudes. You know what I mean? When a dude like Platinum or Ism or any of these dudes show up on a panel, can they offer anything other than, you dudes ain't shit because I got more ass than you? That's their currency. That's the currency, the space that these people do things in. You know what I mean? Throwing up $20 bands and shit like Monopoly money and whatever. Like that's supposed to really impress some dude that basically makes $1 million deals and shit like that. That's the problem that I have in this space, that you have everybody together.
This what
the space is separate. You can't put somebody who's making millions of dollars of deals in the same strata of some dude that's doing whatever these dudes doing on the under and shit. It don't work anywhere else like that.
This is just to show you how deep down the rabbit hole black men in this space have really gotten. Fantastic shared yesterday how he was on another stream and one of these game dudes or pimp guys literally said he gets his rocks off when he knows that his woman got done getting down and banged out by other men.
You mean that cuckold stream?
Yes. That pretty much summarized what that space is all about.
That's some homosexual behavior. And if nobody's gonna say that shit, I'm gonna say that shit.
Oh no, people were actually saying it was.
Yeah, it don't surprise me.
But somehow, some way, something's wrong with you if you're the type of man that's like, you know what? I'd rather go deal with a woman from another culture who actually keeps herself modest, who actually, respects herself and respects men enough to where she's not out there like that. But somehow you're seen as a troublemaker because you want to be less of a stereotype than they are.
Yeah. No, yeah. They want to be the, they want to be the stereotype. They want to be that typical nigga. So, oh man, this shit is too funny, man. This space never ceases to amaze, man.
And I know what you're talking about too, because I got men in my family who into that cuckold shit.
Yeah,
they really are. I don't understand that, but it's crazy as hell.
Oh well. Damn.
And to be honest, like, these dudes violate all the rules that they claim that they're supposed to be a part of. If you a game dude, if you really a pimp like that, you ain't supposed to be thirsty for the bitch 24/7. Ain't no pimp that's worth his salt is telling you that shit.
Nope.
These dudes be thirsty for bitches 24/7 on these goddamn streets.
And also, Yori, the pimp wouldn't shame a trick because he needs the trick to get the money from. The
right.
Go to the trick.
That's correct. That's correct.
He want him. He want the trick.
He want them Johns to basically throw the bread down and shit. 100%. Because without the Johns, they don't got no business.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
Real quick. Anybody who didn't, if you wouldn't, it would be appreciated if you hit the like button.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Because the number of people watching now and the number of likes are slightly different, not by much. But if you didn't hit it first, would you?
Hold on, let me do my part.
Come on, people in the clouds.
But yeah, I mean, everything you guys said is absolutely right. I can't. I can't. I don't want to say I understand it, but I can grasp the concept of it, and it makes no sense to me. And I try to understand it just so I can know who I'm dealing with, but I don't want it to go too far because I don't want to run the risk of coming to an understanding of it, and that makes it okay with me. You know what I'm saying? Or I become like them. I can't do it. And a lot of times it hurts my head. I mean, there's been a couple of times I've literally sat and listened to streams and I've gotten headaches. It's that insane to me. I can't grasp my brain around this nonsense they talk about. And I know that sounds funny, but it's actually happened. I'm not bullshitting. I've actually gotten a headache.
Yeah, I'm with you too. There comes a point in time where you just have to say to yourself, if I keep listening to this, I'm going to lose brain cells. And so you have to just take your medicine and just leave it alone. Don't even bother with them. Don't even try. Like what you poured out, Lawrence, you understand the enemy more so. That way, when they do try to come at you with these attacks, you already know how to handle them.
Right.
So it doesn't mean you need to be involved with them or be friendly with them, but any military person will tell you, especially a right military general and all will tell you, you observe the enemy from afar, you learn their tricks, you learn their trades, so that way you know the enemy better than they know you. Because it's plain and
That's
obvious.
right.
They don't have a clue as far as like what we do behind the scenes and everything. And to me, I like it that way because that's less likely of me running to them than they are trying to run into their own kind.
Right, because all they do is speculate.
Right. But see, but here's the beautiful part about that, and the reason why they don't understand us and we can understand them. When they come up, they drop all their information out, right?
Mhm.
They put it all out there on the table, you know what I'm saying, in the manosphere, yada 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 yada. That's why you can come at somebody like Derek Jackson or whoever, whoever else you want to. When we talk with words they can't understand because they never bothered to learn them. See, like when we sit here and we'll start talking about business, they'll pick up a certain number of words because those words are used everywhere. But the nuance of the conversation they can't grasp because they never took the time to understand what those nuanced words and inflections mean. People have understood more of what I said with less words than them them sitting on the stream for 8 hours. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, like Eisen will run a stream for 2 hours and we talk. People get more out of what I'm saying, you saying, or whoever's up on this panel. They understand more of what we're saying in those 2 hours than them dudes who run 8-hour streams. Because they can't people who understand what we're saying will get it. but the average person does not. And the other beautiful part is that for those who don't get it, as you see in the chat, they'll just ask straight out. That's the kind of people you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the average motherfucker is like, nah, man, I don't want to ask. I don't want to look stupid. Nah, ain't no such thing as that, man. Ain't no such thing as that. If you don't understand, just like I get questions, you get questions, Isaac get questions. That's what we want. But these motherfuckers over here, propaganda, rhetoric, and pussy. That that is the
And clout.
trifecta. And clout, yeah, and clout.
Fake OGs. Don't
Yeah.
forget about the fake OG shit. You know.
Yeah.
Listen to me because I'm old, not because I have anything to offer you.
I'm the
Yeah.
original villain of the community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and YouTube daddy niggas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which goes back to like that time on the stream with PE, man. I just had to tell him. I just had to put it down, man. So we just sat here and listened to you for 30 minutes and nothing. Absolutely nothing. In that incoherent, illogical shit you have just said made any sense. I mean, we're all dumber just for having to listen to it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ike.
Yeah. I you got hella clout. Man, you got it all. You got it all. You a Nigerian prince, and you got hella bank too. So you got it all, man.
Shout out to Ike. He's the king of the light-skinned delegation. Shout out to Ike.
Yeah.
Now, Ike is white Jesus.
Well, like I told Yuri last night when we were talking, don't sleep on the albino, man. They'll fuck you up. Don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on him.
Shout out to that brother.
Oh, we got Stream Team Means in here too, man. He's got it. Hopefully, you've been getting some clip worthy content, Stream Team. That I need some more, man. I need some more Stream Team Means.
He asked you a question.
Stream Team put up a translation of Top Cat stream. It was kind of funny. He was doing some things.
Hey, look, hey, Stream Team means it's already problems. You can't make it no worse.
Yeah.
You only
true.
just making fun of you.
That is true.
I say highlight and expand.
Yeah.
Like just highlight and
There you go.
expand it.
Does
Do
anybody
it.
got clips of that whole Rhodes Scholar thing? I heard about it, but Bernard basically put that.
Oh yeah,
thing.
I got
it
the
looks
video.
like, so I can't
I
I
can't
can't
send it.
touch.
Mhm.
What happened?
Oh, you
That
talking
whole
about that
Rhodes
stream?
Scholar thing?
Yeah, that stream on Bernard where they asked
Oh
Kuda
yeah, I
about the
ain't no
Rhodes
patron.
Scholar.
Yeah, I ain't no patron. Oh, and uh oh. Yeah, Stream Team means you gotta do some shit on that one. That shit was funny, man. You gotta do that shit.
Yeah, bro.
You have to do it. Come on, Stream
And
Team.
what gets me is you still got these buffoons that I call them. They're upset because we asked them a question about what is a Rhodes Scholar. Like, I'm sorry, you have access to the internet where you could just quickly type in a question to figure out, and you still gonna give the answer of, oh well, a Rhodes Scholar is a scholar who's on the road. That's where Black America is.
Sigma. But don't you understand that the internet is for hoes though? Like we got to go find hoes on the internet. That's what we use the internet for. You know, I'm a game dude. Shit. If it ain't got nothing to do with game, I don't fuck with it.
Well, I'm glad. Oh, go ahead, Lawrence.
No. You first. You're fine.
But Iori, I'm glad you brought that up because it's something you mentioned how a lot of these game dudes, they have to resort to the internet to find their research and everything. So just kind of give a heads up. So the next episode coming up of the War Room this weekend, we're going to be talking about Hideki Tojo. And the thing is this, there is no online copy of not the autobiography, but it's a biography book that I have of Tojo. And I'm pretty much going to be reading it straight from the book itself. I got a hard copy of it. But I've already had some dudes asking me, hey, I can't find the online copy. Where can I find the online copy? And it's just like, if you can't go and get the book, I can't help you.
Man.
Is that number 14, the Razor Part 1?
Yes, the biography we're going to be talking about is Tojo the Last Bonsai, and I'm actually going to post the link again on that stream. But yeah, it is a book.
Well, you know me, I got it in my playlist. So,
but yeah, it is a book where it really goes into depths about Tojo and his life in Japan, as far as like leading up to his eventual prime ministry. But you can't find a copy of the ebook online. It's only available in a hard copy. And dudes already asked me, it's like, hey, where can I find the ebook? Where can I find the ebook? And it's like, I just kind of like have to cringe because it's like, wow, these dudes really can't get their nose in a book to understand history or understand just basic research. Everything got to be found on Google.
But you know, and here's the sad part. Like I said, one of the things my grandfather taught me when I was really young was that the most important weapon and the most important card I'll ever own in my life is a library card, and I took that to heart. And like I said, between that, a couple of really, really great teachers I had, and my own love for reading, so that was that. But here's what's sad. I'm pretty sure all of us sitting here right now, we can tell you literally where at least minimum, where 2 bookstores are where we live. You can't get them to do that. They don't know.
Sure.
Yep.
They don't know. I'm being honest with you. They don't know. I would press money on that. And if they did, they're only going to know one, and that's just because somebody might have said something to them or they walked past it by accident. But I can literally sit here and tell you where 3 libraries, 4 bookstores in my town are, and I can tell you about 2 other libraries and 5 bookstores in the town next to me. You feel what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
but you couldn't even get them to tell you one. And the only reason they would know about the library is probably because they have children. That's it.
I'm gonna do something real quick. Gotta have some fun. I'm gonna share some of Stream Team Means work here. We gonna do this motivational player speech remastered by Stream Team Memes here. I know this shit is going to be funny. Let's do it.
Ramil up in here. I ain't got no problem with the pumping up thing. I see where he coming. I feel him. He in Atlanta. Them hoes is going. You niggas be leaving that shit out. Them hoes is going out there. Them hoes is fucking all over the place. And niggas is getting at them. And niggas is getting at them. And you niggas got weak shit. And niggas got the fuck on the bitch. Nigga, I'm gonna fuck this bitch. That's what I'm gonna do, nigga. I'm getting tired of you trying to check my motherfucking game, nigga. I'm in this shit. I'm gonna knock on this bitch, nigga. Fuck you. And I'm getting tired of you, nigga. You can't take it. I'm in this shit to win this shit. And I'm sick of you weak ass, over the hill, dusty ass niggas. You wanna go smoke cigars with some old white boy in the exclusive Roots Club, nigga? Fuck you. I'm out here with these bitches, nigga. I'm gonna hold it on. I'm gonna get it in. I'm gonna get it in. And you niggas,
Damn dude to the hat, man.
out here. It's about being a real nigga. You niggas don't understand what it is to be a real motherfucking nigga. You don't know how to talk it up. You don't know how to get it in. You niggas weak in this shit. I'm sick of you niggas. Them hoes over there fucking with Kevin. Them bitches looking to get married. Them some married-minded bitches. I ain't trying to fuck on no hoe like that. Go over there and fuck with Kevin. Let me fuck with the rest. I'm gonna do my best, nigga. Fuck y'all niggas. And you gotta put this out because you niggas don't put the whole side of the black man out here. You put one side out here. And I'm tired of that shit. And real niggas out here like me, we getting it in. We ain't got nothing to cry on. We let the bitch lie on us. The bitch lied on me, nigga. That's what you did. And I'm gonna do it again. And again, motherfucker. That's what I do. I'm sick of these motherfuckers crying. I'm gonna give you some tissue next time, motherfucker. That's how we do out here, though. Look, we pop that long lady. Expect the Cardi bitch, wild bitch shit. All these hoes want to do is fucking suck. And why get fucked up? They go fucking suck your partner. You know what? Just accept it. Be done with that shit. You niggas go to church, man. You know what I'm saying? Take that shit to church. I can't help it. The whole fucked you over, nigga. That's your problem. That ain't my problem, nigga. I solve problems. I don't make them, nigga. That's what I do. You guys don't understand what it is to be a motherfucking back out here. It's just like playing football, nigga. We get a prep. We get a motherfucking pep rally before we get at these bitches. Let's get it up. Let's get it in. You don't understand that, though. That's what's killing me with that. But look, I'm gonna pull up out of here, man. I'm gonna pull up out of here. Look, appreciate you pop in, man. We need, that's the whole black man. Show the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Hey man, y'all gotta subscribe to Stream Team Memes, man. This shit is, man, the work he does with all these clips, man. That shit is great. Oh man,
I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say this, man. And take it however you want. 2/3. 2/3. And when you think about the entire population of this planet, the vast majority of it is people who look like us more than it is anybody else. And he's going to take out 2/3.
Yep.
2/3.
Yep. That's why I believe in eugenics.
Oh, this shit was too funny, man.
You remember, they don't know what eugenics means.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to learn the hard way. There's an African proverb that says, when you try to teach them right and they don't heed your teaching, you just let adversity teach them.
You let adversity teach them. And what was the other one? Say what you got to say, man. If the house receives it, it does. If it doesn't, then leave the way you came peacefully, knock the dust off the bottom of your sandals, and keep it moving.
Exactly.
Oh man, the legendary Gale that he added there at the end. Oh man, Stream Team Memes, man. Oh man, you got a knack for this shit, man, and that is it's great, man. That shit is too funny, man. Keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah, salute to you, brothers.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, everybody need a good laugh.
Yeah, we did.
You want to, yeah. Makes you want to do that Bernie Mac moment when he's talking about his little nephew with the retarded.
Oh.
Teasing me.
He was teasing me. Oh man. Oh, yeah, exactly. Checking for you, man. As fucked up as this shit is, you cannot make this shit up. Damn, boy.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, it's too funny, man. God, leave, boy.
That's all you can do, man. When you hear that shit, man.
He was teasing me. Oh man. Oh. And then just and not only that too, but the speech along with the video when you had the hoes when he had the hoes twerking in Atlanta on top of cars and shit, man, you should have had him when they was doing that shit at the White House, man. You should. Oh man, when they were twerking on cars, she done fell off the car doing this. All of that legendary fuckery shit. But just so terrible.
And up there trying to swing something in the wind and ain't nothing back there. I mean, she jumped on that car like she had something to offer the world to see, and they ain't nothing but a slick brick wall, man. And then they got the audacity to fall off the fucking cup, man. We finished, man. We highly finished. We are highly fucking finished.
Oh, I'm not finished. Them ain't my people.
I am not claiming them.
Fair enough.
Skin folk ain't kin folk.
Yeah.
Just like you had some women talk about they looking after us and all because they're big sisters and everything. I'm like, first off, I have no sisters whatsoever. Secondly, just like Isaac says, just because we have the same phenotype doesn't mean I see you as brothers and sisters. So,
well, you don't want to be my. Well, you don't want to be my sister. I beat her up and broke her nose before, so.
Look, in my case, I do have sisters, but they're light skinned with curly hair, unlike me, who's brown skinned with curly hair. And so I don't even see my sisters in you broad. And even if they did look like you, I don't give a fuck.
I ain't got one no more, so there you go.
Yeah. Just like they like to throw out that, because just like they like to throw out that, well, your mama black. I don't like that bitch either.
Actually, when they say that, in my case, it's like, well, my mom actually passes for Latina. So what's your point?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I say whenever they say that. I ain't trying to fuck my mama.
Yeah.
Yo, that. Look.
Oh, that would be great, stream team means. A protect black women video showing black women beating up niggas. This shit would be great.
That would be
that would be great.
Good.
That would be great.
No, show black women beating people up in general. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, or in general. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Oh
I
man.
see black women beat up a white couple in the airport. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well,
that would be great.
Yeah, I watched something last night. I don't know where it was from, but there was a dude in a comment section on a video. It the same as always, black women, bad behavior, blah 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 blah. And a white dude showed up and said, "I'm a white dude, and I feel sorry for all you brothers, man. I wish I could help protect you because these women are crazy." I mean, that's what he said. And then he ended it by saying, "I'm afraid of them." That's exactly what he wrote.
Yeah.
I remember what it was. Tom Hanks' son, Chet Hanks, dating a black woman, and she beat his ass, and now he's got a charge on him for domestic violence. That's what the video was about.
Yeah. And you know what, Lawrence? Like I was telling another brother a while back, I actually had a conversation with a white nationalist some years ago, and even he admitted, he was like, "Look, I still don't agree with interracial dating or interracial marriage, but I definitely understand why a black man would want to date out after I've dealt with black women."
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
And,
when you got white nationalists understanding where we're coming from, we in a bad place.
to a point, I think it's been a while back, but Jessica X did a video on that shit about black women doing this shit, and SKC got up on the panel and was talking about he was scared of the motherfucker. He was talking about look how big they are.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that, but I don't think that was. I think Jessica was on somebody else's channel when that
It's on
happened.
somebody else. I thought it was her. I can't remember. I thought it was her,
Well,
but it's been so
cause
long ago.
because I do remember that, and I don't go to Jessica's channel, so I
I thought
remember
that
that.
was the one time it came up and you saw it. I can't remember, but I might be wrong. It's been man. It's been
It's been a
golly. It's
while.
been over a year ago.
Yeah,
I think.
It's been
Well, it's
it
been
has.
almost a year ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I could be wrong too, to be honest with you. But yeah, he was up there. I mean, and you can hear it in his voice. He was not joking. He
Yeah.
was not joking. He's like, "Yo, man, I'm afraid of them, man. I mean, they so big and violent, and I mean, it was some funny shit to listen
Well,
to."
he was. Well, the thing was SKC trolls, but it was seriousness, but it was trolling too a little bit. That just because his voice is like trolling too, but he was serious though, and he was talking about look how big she is. That shit had me rolling, boy. Oh God, he talking about it being bullies.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, you notice the movies where the skinny girl is the shit, and then she's rude to the fat girls. But when it comes to the black people, the fat girls beat the skinny girls' ass, and they're the rude ones running the show.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Iman Perry. Yeah, that video. Yeah, White Boy Summer. Yeah, whatever. And yes, Christopher Rademacher. Cheers from Germany. Yeah, you're right.
Damn. But yeah, that's a great idea. Stream team means we need that shit. You could do several of them.
Oh yeah, that would be
all
a series.
You never gonna run out of material on that one.
Oh man,
yeah, World Star, Twitter, whatever.
Yeah. That would. Oh yeah, that would definitely be hilarious. Yeah, stream team. Stream team means got some good content. Y'all subscribe and check your brother out, man.
Yeah, good. I'm already sub to him.
Yeah, me too.
Oh man. Yeah, but like I said, this as a people, and again, as you guys said, not counting them as ours, but just as a people, they are finished. I mean, when man, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. And like I said, look, if you're looking at it from a scriptural perspective, we already know how the story ends. And if you're looking at it from a secular perspective, the way society's going, it's going to be collapsing pretty damn soon. Because again, this is unsustainable. It just is.
Yeah.
And either way you look at it, man, it's going to be a really, really bad day.
Yeah.
Really bad day. And like I told somebody before, it's like, so I got to get more, got to get more guns, got to get more this, got to get more of that. I said, yeah, you can have all of them you want to. What you need to stock up on is ammunition, because that's how many's coming. So
yeah,
you need more ammunition than you need guns. I'm being straight up honest with you, because that's how many's coming. It's gonna be that fucking crazy. Because you got to understand, for every one of us, there's 1,000 of them. There's 1,000, easy 1,000. I'm not even exaggerating that shit. There's 1,000 of them for every one of us, man. You got to have ammo.
And here's the craziest thing they don't understand is they're going to be shocked when they see that other cultures embrace the men like us to help them in this upcoming collapse.
Oh yeah,
they'll be like, wait a minute, why are you with the enemy? Well, because me and the enemy think alike.
Whatever.
And you know what's funny? And Sigma, if I'm wrong, correct me, but the one group that's going to want us more than anybody is going to be Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I agree with
It's
that.
it's gonna be Japanese. Spanish, Middle Eastern, whatever you want to call it. But the people, I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody in Ethiopia and Nigeria will be calling for us for sure. Because I've already seen Ethiopian people doing that for like the last 4 or 5 years, asking us to come back. But the people, if you're looking for a place where you're going to at least be respected and appreciated for your shit, if you on point, out of everybody who's going to be looking for us to come to them, it's going to be Japanese. I'm telling you,
And,
that's
and,
exactly what it's going to be.
and Black
And I'll
Girls
add
just
to that too. I'll add to that. The whole Asian diaspora values utility. So if you're a man who actually has some utility, they'll fuck with you, bro. 100%.
Yeah, but you still have you still have a
let me
slight
let me just
problem
put this
because
out there too to kind of
Go
highlight.
ahead.
yeah, go ahead, Sigma. Yeah,
I was going to say just to highlight what Lawrence is just talking about. If you really want to know as far as where Shane Sang is already talking about it.
Yep.
If you really want to know the next power couple, just watch your commercials. What's the female counterpart that's been coupled up with, as they say, the nerd looking black man or the regular looking black man? Asian women.
And
That
also,
that
Sigma,
should.
go ahead. Wait, I was gonna say, yeah, go ahead and finish.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that should be a clue for everybody. Like, I can't speak for everyone, but lately I've been seeing more Blasian couples than I have black men with white women. To me, that's a telltale sign.
Yeah, you. The thing is, yeah, you usually see them. You usually see black men either with Hispanic, the Latinos, or the Asians. Now it's more so than white. And my bad. Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, Sigma, that's a great point with the black men and Asian women, because Asian women statistically they have the lowest divorce rates in the world compared to most other groups of women. And we already know that Dago has the highest divorce rate, and they're the only ones who divorce faster than they can get married. And even with the success with working with other people, they're gonna start projecting like, "Oh, you just want acceptance," even though they've been wanting acceptance the whole time and just wanted their bullshit behavior excused.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, there's something to say about that because the Asian community uses shame a lot to keep the things that would have broken up other relationships together. It's like okay, like if you gonna get married, you gotta stay married because this whole thing of running to go get divorced and then having a resurrection after you get divorced, that don't
it's a
fly.
shame. It's a shame. It's a shame on the family, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just the dude or the chick. It's a shame on the whole family,
100%.
both families.
100%. So they use that pressure valve to keep everything together. 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Now the only
Yeah,
problem I have, the only problem I have with the Asian thing is that it depends on what part, because you have some Asian spaces where they're still doing colorism among themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So, but Japan is not really working like that anymore. They used to in the 80s. It was really high in the 80s. I remember that. But the way it is now, they've gotten past that. Maybe not completely, but a hell of a lot better than any place else on this planet. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I know you getting a Persian woman, not that big of a deal to some degree, but if you get an East Indian woman, it's a big deal.
Big deal.
Because I dated an East Indian woman for quite some time, and she adored me. She actually did, but she kept it real with me. She said I can't marry you. I can't take you home. I can't introduce you to anybody. We used to sneak around, and we would avoid any area that her family had associates or other members, and et cetera, and so on. So that's what I'm saying. They still depending on which Asiatic section you're in, we still have that issue. So
Hey, so basically what you're saying is Curls need to go ahead and embrace his light skin.
I can embrace my light skin with that Ethiopian or Eritrean chick. Shit.
The the other thing that I'm going to say also is if you're going to talk about East Indian women, it has to do with sometimes where the East Indian woman comes from.
Right, exactly.
Can have a huge part to do with that. If she's from
Yeah.
the north, where the colorism is deep and all this other kind of stuff, then that makes perfect sense. If she's southern, if she's like a southern Indian woman who's like Tamil, which is like Tamil folks is the complexion of brothers. So all of a sudden, it's not one of those things for you to say, okay, I'm Tamil, I look like brothers. I just found myself a brother to go, do stuff with. It's connected more like that. So it's regional as well. So
because with her, there were two issues. One, she was from Bombay. Exactly. And the second thing is that for all intents and purposes, by their own classification, she was a Harijan.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I know everybody else on the panel don't get what I'm saying, but I know Yuri does.
Yeah. She's a hurry. Oh no.
Yeah. See,
those Hurricane priest type folks be the most fucked up people in our whole situation.
Right, because what you have to remember, what she was Harijan. Now, if you remember Gandhi, Gandhi defended them because they used to call them the untouchables.
Yeah.
So they were always considered the dregs of society.
Right. But if she's a Harijan, then she shouldn't have no problem because she's at the bottom anyway. Like, particularly, I'm not saying I believe in any of that shit.
Well, no, I don't believe in it either. But at the same time, you have to understand, in her mind, she can love me all she wants to, but what she has to do for her family is to get someone of better quality and higher status. Right. So, and that would be, for them, that would be, as usual, a white man.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so, I mean, and like I said, it wasn't personal. It was just the way the shit works. It's just the way the system is set up.
Sure. So, yeah, and that's how those northern folks kind of they do it like that. That's why I asked, is she like northern and stuff? That system thing, that's heavy in the north. In the south. In the south, where everybody's more melanated and all this other kind of stuff, it's like, nah, man, y'all go run the way y'all run, man. As long as we don't hear no negative shit, like we fuck. But it's regional.
But the thing is this is where the beauty of technology comes in, and this is where guys like us, we're really making headways, because now that technology has allowed people from all across the globe to get in contact with each other with just a push of a button, you're starting to see more and more cultures embracing men like us, because now there's more exposure. And to be honest, I can't say as far as like from the South or the East Coast, because I don't live in those areas, but I could definitely say here on the West Coast, like the Phoenix, California, Washington State area, I'm actually starting to see more and more Black and Middle Eastern or Indian couples. Like, it's starting to become a growing number.
Yeah. And I've got the same thing going on here in certain sections of Florida too. Especially there's like a whole section in Tampa that just in the space of 5 years just changed, man. You see those couples together. You see halal shops being opened up and the whole 9 yards. Real quick. I mean, 5 years alone, it just changed massively, and they got that whole area. And it's fascinating because with the internet, and like you were saying, with the click of a button, being able to show yourself, talk, present yourself, as you truly are. This is new for the world, because the rest of the world relied on whatever Western television told them we were. And it was either criminals, comedians, sports stars, or singers. That's all we ever were. That's all they ever saw. And then let's be real, they all live off Western movies and TV. They admit that themselves. You know what I mean? So, and what a lot of people don't understand, especially when we talk about Japan, people think that a lot of stuff they see or hear about in Japan means Japanese people don't like us. That's not the case. Japanese people are very restrictive. They're very conservative. They're very controlling of themselves and the environment. It's like if you sit on a train, they won't sit next to a foreigner, but you think it's because you're black. It's not. It's a variety of other reasons. For instance, and you can testify to this, Sigma. The Japanese are very big on being odorless.
Yes.
Yep. No.
They do not like people sitting next to them with a whole bunch of perfume, cologne, all that good stuff. They believe in being odorless. They really do. You feel what I'm saying? Some people don't understand the culture and what they do, so they automatically think, well, I'm black and nobody sat next to me, so it must be racism. It doesn't work that way. And it's the same thing with the women. The women have no problem dating black men. It's not because you're black. They're concerned because they worry about themselves. They feel they're not capable of being able to talk English properly, so they hope you would be someone who speaks Japanese. But that's really the reason for the standoffishness. It's not you. It's they're concerned about themselves, not looking honorable, being able to speak your language.
Good point, Lawrence. Because when they find out you speak a foreign language, they're like elated. But you're like, oh
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. And even if you're Japanese, it's not.
That's what Moses McCormick was talking about.
Yeah.
Like how it was the moment.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. to him.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Moses. But he was talking about that. Because that shows that you're not snobbish enough to only know what you know, that you're actually willing to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And see, the thing is this too, like, you don't even have to have picture perfect Japanese, but as long as you're showing the effort of learning the language and especially learning the customs of the cultures, you will have more access to the inner goings of the Japanese culture than any, foreigner or tourist that comes into the culture. I mean, myself right now, as far as like my learnings and teachings, my sensei is teaching me some things that he doesn't even teach regular students in his dojo. And so that's an honor in and of itself that they see you as part of them rather than, oh, he's just a foreigner, he doesn't take this seriously and whatnot. Once you've proven yourself to them, you're pretty much in.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I was gonna say that's the thing. If that once they pretty much look past the you don't have the Gaijin card anymore, and they pretty much show you things about their culture. That's pretty high honor.
Yeah, and it's just like I've talked to people before who talk about they won't let us in the restaurants. They don't like us. It's not that, man. You got to understand the culture. They are so afraid of losing face that they have a tendency, if they don't have anybody in the restaurant who speaks proper English and can't understand what you're saying, or you ask for something that they don't have, you know what I'm saying? They worry about that. They worry about getting sued for that and all that kind of stuff. It's not about you being a foreigner or your color of your skin, man. It's just they're very meticulous, man, like a motherfucker. I mean, because I would say out of everybody, the most laid back space is always going to be Okinawa. But even they've got their thing about them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But the Okinawans look different than the traditional Japanese, and so that's why they're a little bit more open to.
That's true. That's very true.
That goes into the South Indian thing, right? Like it's one of those things. Cultures that are a little bit more melanated in the Asian diaspora are people, as long as you don't judge their culture, like that's their biggest fear. Their biggest fear is, okay, this dude who don't know where we come from and don't know our particular ways of being
Come
is
on,
going
mute
to
your
look
man,
at us
girl.
and he's going to judge us based on what he doesn't know.
Right.
The
Right.
moment you don't do that, bro, you're in.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
you know, as long as you don't care about fireworks going off and like loud noises and big booms during festivals and stuff, like as long as you don't say, oh man, these people, see, because the thing about India, especially South India, it happened in North India a little bit too, but North India actually benefited from the British invasion a little bit because they're still down with the colorism. The South Indians are very protective of people that come from somewhere else because they didn't really get down with the British invasion like that.
That's correct. That's true. That's true.
So part of their protective nature is, look, man, like this dude who don't come from here better not come in here with some fuck shit because we didn't deal with the fuck shit that they brought, and we ain't gonna deal with this fuck shit either. Now, if he can come correct and just chop it up like normal, nah, man, like we can do whatever we want to do with them because we cool like that. But that's one of those things that you have to really be aware of when you're moving out here. You know?
Yeah. Because it's from a scriptural perspective. It talks about come out of her cities, leave Babylon, yada yada. And if we take the analogy that Babylon is technically United States, blah 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 blah. I have moments where I think just going back to Okinawa, man, and I think to myself, I go back there with the knowledge that I have, the company that I have. I won't be a burden because I have my own money, so it's not like I'm coming on a system or anything like that. I mean, I'd be wicked over there, man.
Yeah, man.
I'd be wicked over there. I'd be living the life of Riley, man. I would literally be able to afford the craziest places in Tokyo, the most expensive locations and all that good stuff. And I would have no issue with women wanting to marry me. Best believe that.
100%, 100%. And it's always like that. See, the issue is that people look at India or people look at Japan or India or whatever based on what the Western media tells them. But
Exactly.
But the thing is, like, no place is monolithic. It's like saying, okay, like all black people think the same, all Asian people think the same. No, there's vast differences based on where you are in where you are, right? If you're in India, but you're in South India versus being in the northwest of India or the northeast of India, vast difference.
Well, yeah, and I've said that. Yeah, I've said that before too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can see it just living here. A New Yorker is not the same as somebody from Alabama. Alabama is not the same as somebody from California.
Right.
California is not the same as somebody from North Dakota. I mean, we see it here. There's regional sections. Is that me making all that clicking sounds?
No, that's the guy that you hate. Curls, you there?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought he was gonna say something, so that's why.
Yeah, I was gonna say something. Actually.
Oh, go ahead.
What kills
No,
me
go ahead.
What kills me in particular, based on what Sigma, Yori, and also what you somewhat said, Lawrence, is with the whole lowering the culture and the whole stigma and also the traditionality. That's one thing with black people in particular, because even Sigma told me, I was like, why do so many black people complain about their experience in Japan, but then you and Kitagakure have a good experience? Is because they understand the culture and they actually go out of their way to understand. Like, black people want people to understand them, but they don't go out of their way to understand other people. Because when they're on those interviews, they sound completely Americanized, when they talk about their visits to Japan. I'm like, you just sound like you just hop straight in Japan and try to give your assessment right there.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's
especially
true.
with, and especially with Yori saying the whole shame thing, because we already know with the stigma with us that we are shameless ourselves, especially with the divorce rates. Like, trigger happy with getting divorced. They're like, that's kind of off-putting. Don't want to be with y'all.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, because look, the first step to go into to any country, man. If you want to be taken seriously, the first thing you do is learn their language.
100%.
Because when you learn their language, they realize, okay, this is not again. And when I say learn their language, I want you to understand what I'm saying here. I don't mean just taking a class to be able to understand what they're saying, what they're saying. I mean studying that language where you understand inflections. You know what I'm saying? Where you understand nuances and how the northern section might pronounce something as opposed to how the southern section might pronounce it. Because when you talk to them, they can tell where you learn. They can tell. They really can. So that's the first step. Then after that, you're going to be watched for a while, and you should be, because you're in somebody else's space, and they want to make sure you should be here, and
Yeah.
and that you're worthy of being there. That's just the way it works.
Yeah.
I noticed that too.
You
And
know,
and not only with the whole trying to learn the language aspect and the differences in pronunciations depending on terms as well, depending on region, but just the overall do's and don'ts and the etiquette of the culture too.
absolutely, absolutely. Because as bad as my memory might be, because it's been so long since I've been there, there are moments where I'm in a store and there'll be an older person, Japanese, and I'll greet them in Japanese. I don't do it to younger ones. I do it to the elderly. I'll greet him, and then he'll look at me and he'll have a smile on his face, and he's like, yeah, yeah. And then he'll answer me back, and he'll say Okinawa, I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I get the dialect, and we'll laugh, and then he'll tell me, you need to practice more, that kind of, that kind of thing. Yeah, and I'll tell him I've been out of practice, but they can tell, man. They can tell. They can tell when you learn something.
I'll tell you what it is. It's one of those things where it starts with language, right? Second thing, you have to understand and come in respectful of the family dynamic.
Absolutely,
Big,
absolutely.
big thing. So
Yep.
if you're going to be introduced to the family, it's better to be introduced. I know such and such's brother. The brother invites me to food, and then I know the mother, father, etc., etc. That breaks the ice in really learning how to meet other people. Number two. Number three, you have to be aware of the culture and the customs. Big thing, right? The culture is one thing, but the customs and the function of what you're supposed to be as a guest, as a member who's spending time with the family is a big thing. And number four, you've got to drop the American entitlement in terms of doing things that you wouldn't necessarily do in America, but you're in another place, in another culture, and you need to be able to stretch out. If you do
Absolutely.
those four things,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
won't have no problem.
Yep.
You won't have
And I'll
no
tell you,
problem.
I'll tell you something else too. If you're in the mindset that you're with a girl and you want that girl, and I mean when I say want her, I mean putting a ring on it, doing the whole marriage thing in the whole 9 yards. I'm gonna
Get
tell you
ready,
straight
get
out
ready.
I'm gonna tell you straight out the gate. Be prepared for her father.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't interested in marriage, but we were interested in dating each other, and she would not do it unless she had her family's approval. And I remember when I was invited for dinner, I took the time. I spent a week, and when I came in and I sat down and I waited to be addressed, he asked me my name. yada yada yada, and then he said his name, and then I said, and I called his name all the way back to 5 generations before him by his fathers and their fathers' name. Blew him out the fucking water. Blew him out the water. And he's like, yeah, you can date my daughter. We good. So, you know what I'm saying?
Also, the other thing is understand the popular culture a little bit. Understand like the sports. You know, like if you know anything about India, like people go crazy about cricket. So like take a genuine interest in what people are interested in. If you go to India talking about baseball, they're gonna look at you like you're stupid. It's like, hey man, don't you understand that we play cricket out here? Like, come on, like those types of things are simple, and technically it goes the same way anywhere else that you go into. This is work, and and that's the biggest issue that all these dudes have. These dudes want to go to Mexico and want to go to Colombia just so that they can run and get pussy. Nah, like if you're really gonna go into a spot and really understand what's going on, this stuff is work, man. But it is. But the thing is, you have to be cool with that stuff. Like to be honest, I'll tell you, when I go travel, women and pussy is the last thing on my mind. I'll tell you my agenda. Number one, find a good place to live that's affordable. Number two, find a place that's centrally located so I can go and eat and have groceries and everything else. Because I ain't gonna be driving in no third world country. Number two, that's not my thing, right? Number three, my third thing is to figure out where the language exchanges are, and fourth is where the martial arts dojos are, and then fifth would be nightlife. It's at the bottom.
Yep, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. And going back to what you were saying when you were talking about cricket, I've told brothers this before. Y'all roll over there and you want to talk about football, basketball, and all this other nonsense, and you fail to understand the 2 largest sports on the entire planet is cricket and soccer.
Yeah.
It's cricket and soccer. Those are the 2 largest fucking sports on the fucking planet. Cricket and soccer, straight out the gate. So you can't come in there with all that American bullshit about college football and the New York Yankees and all that other shit, man. It's not gonna work. What's up, specialist? I saw him pop in. But they go over there and they think that they can bring all those Americanisms with them, and people just supposed to fall in line with that shit. Nah, bro, that's not how it works.
Yeah, man, it's not like that. You know, that's why, like, you know, you have to be in congruence with the culture. Period. Whether that's the sporting culture, the entertainment culture, like you need to know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
That's really it. That's really it. Now, the other thing with the northern versus southern thing is the colorism thing was heavier before. I don't know when, at what time this was, but now it's getting better even for the northerners, because guess what? Those northern people, they want to get their contacts up too. So, you know, that's a big thing with everything getting smaller. But, you know, it was weird because I didn't really notice how progressive the South was till I came back. And then I started interfacing with northern people, and I thought they were snobbish as hell, right?
Well, they generally are.
Yeah, you know, they're snobbish as hell. And by the way, that's why I don't fuck with Indian people like that. Like, I'm cool with Indian people, but you know, it's like one of those things. Like, you got to be a part of the fuckery to know what the fuckery is in every culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's and to be honest, you could even see the iconography looks different, right? Like the northern people, they worship Vishnu a lot.
Yes, they do.
If you look at the iconography of Vishnu, he's basically chilling on the ocean. He's got like a bed. He's chilling with his white wife, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously she's not white, but the invaders who were the British depicted those people as white so they could interface with those people better, and the Northerners took to that, right? Versus if you look at who the Southerners worship, they worship Shiva, and Shiva is in all intents and purposes black.
Yes, she
So
is.
so you have to put that in the calculus in terms of, okay, like these people worship Shiva and Parvati and all this other kind of stuff, and those are considered the original people who happen to have black features all over the place. If
Right.
you know, if Shiva has dreadlocks, that's not an Indo-European trait.
Right, because remember they tried to whitewash Brahma big time. They tried to whitewash him big time. That was crazy.
100%. So when you're interfacing, you have to know these plot points, you know, and then you'll understand how people are going to be treated. You know, is the system perfect? There's no system on earth that's ever going to be perfect.
No.
But the thing is, it has to be good enough for you to move around and have utility. That's how all this stuff works.
That's the key.
You know, and that's why these dudes don't want to travel, because they can't handle traveling. Because they look at everything as a binary situation. Look, man, the rest of the world ain't binary. There's fucked up shit. There's cool shit. You deal with however you want to deal with it. You know,
Well, most of them are just talking to be talking anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the first thing. The second thing is that those who go over there and don't get their shit in order, they're gonna be made to leave. They're not gonna be asked. They're gonna be made to leave.
Right.
Just like them two dumbass lesbian black chicks over in the Philippines or whatever it was they kicked out because they stupid. You come in here, man, and you fucking with that culture, man. They're gonna make you leave. They came, arrested them, held them in detention, and then shipped their asses right back to the United States. They're not fucking around.
They gonna give those people the cultural uppercut on the pit stage from Mortal Kombat 1, and they're gonna just fall down.
Thank you, Black Curls. It was Thailand. I'm sorry, it wasn't the Philippines. It was Thailand. Thank you. Yeah, but yeah, they went over there acting a fool, telling people how to come in there without having to pay taxes or something. It was crazy shit, man. It was crazy shit. Putting up videos about it. And yeah, man, they came in there and grabbed them girls. It's like, yeah, because that's what I would do.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I would do. Like I said, you can't go over there. You can't go over there with that American fuckery, and especially not that American feminism fuckery. And don't get me wrong, Thailand's got its level of feminism as well, but they ain't on that American shit. They not having that because every country's got a little bit of feminism. There's no question to it. But each country has limits to that shit.
I'll tell you something about the feminism in India. It don't work, because I'll tell you how it works. Them people that be on that super Western feminism shit, they end up a couple years too old and unmarried, and nobody want to fuck with them.
And that's being polite, because some of them have been assaulted, killed, etc., and so on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know you've seen those stories. I've seen them. I know you've seen them.
I mean, I interface with people all the time, and it's like, look, man, this Western thing that's coming in here, it ain't working, because now they're thinking that I'm a feminist because I got my degree and stuff like that. I don't want to be stuck out here like none of these people. And you know, because they see the writing on the wall. They didn't grow up like that. They grew up in normal standardized families, and they want to have normal standardized results. And they're looking at these people saying all this dumb shit from a Western perspective, like, man, y'all fucking it up for us. Like, it's fine if y'all want to do that, but don't have other people think that I'm with you on the shit that don't work for you. I talk to people like that. You know, 100%. 100%.
Yep.
So,
Yep. But that's how they go, man. That's how they go. And like I said, you know, all these brothers, you know, cis bim talking about traveling, yada yada yada. You ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. Because I mean, just listening to when they talk about it, they don't talk about nothing about the culture. They don't talk about anything about learning, you know, what they need to know about language, culture, you know, and everything else. All they talk about is going to get pussy. That's all they talk about. That's all they talk about.
Yeah.
You know, well, I can't deal with these women here in this country no more, so I'm gonna go over there and get me a woman. That's your first mistake. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, look, even the most streetish, okay, making up a word there. Even the most street level chick who's running out there like that and just dicking anything she can get her hands on ain't even gonna play with you like that. Because there's cultural aspects to them, man, that you hook up with them, man. You got to fall in line with, yo. Yeah, you got to fall in line with, especially if you're talking about wifing somebody up. Because like I said, even a hoe who's been on the street for 10 years and you hook up with her, you decide to wife her up, as stupid as it might be, she's still going to look at you and tell you point blank, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to be this, you got to be that before I introduce you to my father. Make no mistake, they will do that. They will, because regardless of what anybody's doing, the culture will, or the need for cultural what's the word I'm looking for? Formation, I guess, or whatever. But you got, yeah, that'll work too. You got to fall in line with it. You have to. You have to, because like I said, even if she's a hoe that's been working for 10 years the street, if you marry her, that society is going to expect you to treat her a certain way, regardless of whether or not she was a hoe. It's not going to make a difference. You got to understand that.
Confirmation, okay.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, you got to understand that. It ain't like here where, you know, you pick a hoe up off the street, you wife her, she's still doing dumb shit, whatever, yada yada yada. You kick her out, get divorced, whatever have you may. It's not like that in every culture, man. It's not like that.
And even from a sense of just having friends, you know, they're still not gonna just bring anybody to you know where their family is, which, you know, yeah, I've heard them say it. You know,
Yeah.
you know.
I had a friend, Elena. We worked together. She was Albanian, and it was the same thing as when it was, and I wasn't even dating her, but it was similar to when I was dating Indira. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Being black and her being Albanian, we couldn't be seen together. Even if we got off work and we were traveling on the train to go home, she, you know, we could walk to the train station, we good. But once we got in the train station, she had to stand on, she stood on one end and I stood on another because, again, if anybody saw us together that she ran into or knew her neighborhood or family or whatever, she'd get her ass. She'd get her ass whooped. You know, I mean, these are cultural things you have to fucking understand. And again, it's not nobody being mean or making it personal. It's just the way it is. And you got motherfuckers here who you can't even deal with your own shit, but you want to go and you want to go someplace else and think you can deal with somebody else's. That ain't gonna work, bro.
Right.
You ain't even got yourself together. You talking about trying to learn to put up with somebody else's. Nah, it's not gonna work, bro. It's not gonna work. You know, because even now, like with Indira, I think sometimes I have moments where I think it back in my head, would it be different? Because that was like in the 90s with her.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, that's exactly. Huge. So sometimes I ask myself
that 90s thing, bro. Like
yeah. That was
exactly why I asked.
Yeah. It was the 90s. Yeah, it was the 90s.
I figured it was a 90s thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But and sometimes I ask myself, how would it be if it happened now? You feel what I'm saying?
It would have worked. It would have worked.
Yeah.
It would have worked because we're in a different place now, and even those stuck up kind of northern folks and, you know, other people, because, you know, being stuck up isn't a regional thing. It's just more prevalent. Like you know, those people want to have an international footprint now.
Right.
They want to have an international footprint now. So you know, that's definitely something.
Yeah, because the deal nowadays is not even about your color; it's about your productivity. At least for other countries.
100%.
Because again, that girl will not bring you home to her parents if you're not a productive motherfucker. Your color is irrelevant now.
100%.
Yeah.
So because that's what because that's what a father's gonna ask. Okay, I get that he's black and we had history with that back in the day. I get that, but that's not the important part. My question is I'm about to give one of my treasures to this man. Is he capable of taking care of that treasure? Is he capable of providing? Is he capable of giving me grandchildren to carry on the bloodline? Is he capable that if something goes wrong and we need him as part of the family, can he come help? The same way if he needed something, we would have to come help him. Those are the questions that always should be.
100%.
Those are the questions that always should be. You know, and that's why you know, I'm not trying to attack people, but that's why now I'm not saying all, but a lot of the guys in SysBIM I cannot take seriously. I can't.
Yeah.
Because they've never traveled and they don't fucking get it. You know what I'm saying? I've had to readjust my way of thinking multiple times. Because like I said, when I went from the United States to Canada, it was similar, but there were slight differences. When I went from Canada to Italy, totally fucking different. When I went from Italy to Germany, totally different again. You got to be able to adapt in each one of those situations. These guys ain't talking about adapting. They just talking about fucking. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's literally all the fuck they're doing. That's all the fuck they're doing. Same thing when I left Germany to go to Australia. Same shit. Had to rechange my mind fucking set.
Right.
You got to adapt. But like I said, you don't hear none of them talking about that. The only person I've heard talk in detail about having to adjust, and so at least so far, is Sigma. You know what I'm saying? But again, I don't listen to a lot of people like that anyway. So they might be out there, and I just don't know. But from the few that I have seen in chats and coming up on panels on other stuff, they're not getting it. They're not getting it, and they're going to get blown out the fucking water. They are.
Yeah. See, because the thing is, every time you go to another country, you have to recalibrate the country that you were at before, because you're still working for a small amount on the country that you were before. So it's going to take you, and this is the hard part about really doing this correctly. It's going to take you 6 months to 12 months to really get recalibrated to the next place you're going to.
That's correct.
You got to build a brand new network, figure out where the hot spots are, figure out what the sports are, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I've done it to the point where, you know, it's quicker, but you can figure out all that stuff without really figuring out the way that human beings interact in a different place. That's what's going to take you the most amount of time.
But check this out, Yuri. Check this out. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but just check this out real quick. I mean, just to show you how stupid they are, just to show you how much they're not thinking. Look at it this way. Motherfuckers still argue with each other who's from New York and who's from Chi-Town. Motherfuckers still argue over who's better, North Carolina or South Carolina. I mean, you understand? You can't even get your shit straight in your own backyard. You know what I'm saying? You can't even learn to adjust in your own fucking backyard. You're not going to adjust nowhere else. Motherfuckers move from New York to Florida and they come down here with all that fuckery.
Right.
And Florida has to put them in fucking check. Same thing if you left from Florida and go to California. You can't do that shit over there. They can't even get their shit. They can't even get right in their own house. You feel what I'm saying? So how am I gonna expect them to get it right somewhere in somebody else's house? I mean, it's crazy.
See, and the biggest issue that a lot of people have, and this is an American thing. We think too much from regional perspectives. When it comes down to you going to a different country, they ain't gonna figure out whether you from the east or the west or the north or the south. They're gonna figure out, okay, he's from America, he does this, he makes this money, he's been around his industry for this long, and that's it. That's
Mhm.
that's what matters, 100%, because they're thinking production strategies. Okay,
Yes.
like how in terms of his production. Okay, he's this productive. This is his production. So I know at least if we interface, he's at least here, and then it's a sales job at that point. Is
Yeah.
this level of production good enough for us to make the deal? If yes,
Yeah.
then cool. If no, then it's not. It just is what it is. It's a 50-50 coin flip at that point.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mo. I see you, Mo.
Yeah, I saw that. No, I don't, man. I don't. Because see, here's my thing. Here's my thing about being here in Florida, originally being from New York. I don't have to blow my horn because there's more space down here to drive than there ever was in New York. You're bumper to bumper in New York, no matter where you go. Down here, man, it's open space, man. You just learn to be patient, and I ain't got to do that thing rushing on the clock thing. But but going back to what you were saying, Yuri, it's really interesting because like for instance, going back to Indira, when I was dating Indira, and again this goes back to Sisbim and all of them not understanding the changes they have to make.
Sure.
I I love steak, and back in New York we had a place called Beefsteak Charlie's,
Right.
and that was the place everybody went, man, for a good steak back in the day.
Oh yeah. Well,
And I
you know,
loved, I loved me some steak, but I'm dating an East Indian woman where cows are considered sacred,
right, right. Yeah, that's.
and I had
Yeah,
to
yeah.
give that shit, and I had to give that shit up while I was dating her,
Oh,
just out of
you could.
respect.
Whoa.
No, 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 hold on. She did the same thing. She did the same thing for me too because I don't eat pork. So she
Okay,
did the
okay.
same. So
That's
she,
fair. That's fair. That's
yeah, yeah. She no. It was a fair trade. It was a fair
okay.
trade. She
That's
was,
fair. That's fair.
yeah. She was just as respectable to me as I was to her.
Okay.
Because I stopped eating that. So we were doing a lot of fish, a lot of chicken, that kind of thing. But like I said, if you're looking at trying to go someplace to wife up some chick, you got to take that kind of shit in consideration.
100%.
And that's the point I'm making. These brothers, and I just did that, and I was only dating her. I wasn't even trying to wife her up. You feel me? So
Right. Sure.
so
Sure.
so you got to understand that there's going to be give and take on both sides.
Sure.
And like I said, again, they're not thinking that. They're just thinking they're going to go out there, flash a little bit. You know what it is? They're going there thinking everybody's a third world country. They're just going to flash a little money and they're going to get over it. That's what they're
Yeah.
thinking.
Oh, okay. Another thing I'm going to say is the following. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you think that you're going to come in here with the white Christian mentality to another place that's not that, because see, like it's weird. Like what I'm saying is, like, you have certain people, even who are black, that are super conservative, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to an Asian culture and they're talking about Taoism or Shanto or Hinduism or whatever, and you think, hey man, like, I'm from America and I'm Christian, and that's the only shit I fuck with, you gonna have a fucking rude ass awakening. Then nobody's gonna fuck with you without you being able to say, look, man, I am what I am, but I'm open to everything that y'all are doing too. That has to be the mindset in the sense, like, if you're gonna be like, man, like, I don't celebrate Diwali, those people are stupid. I celebrate X, right?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna work like that. That's a big thing, that like these people take their holidays seriously. And if you gonna be some dude that like is on your island, you gonna be on your island all by yourself.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. All day, every day. And you better hope there's fruit up there for you to live off of because they're not bringing you shit.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to Blaze. Yeah, we don't do beef, bro. We don't
Mm-hmm.
do beef. Like literally. and that's why I have a problem with this space sometimes, because this space is like 60 to 70% beef. You know, 100%. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but like I said, I mean, like I said, I don't deal with women anymore. But she was a good egg. She really was. She was a good egg.
Yeah.
She was a good egg. Actually, out of all the women I've dated, I got to be honest, she's one of the nicest.
Yeah.
She was one of the nicest, one of the coolest, one of the most respectful. I think in all fairness, her and Manzura are probably they were the best women I've ever had the pleasure to know. I will admit that openly. I will admit that. Manzura and I, we grew up since we were 7 years old, and she was part Blackfoot Indian and Cherokee and something else.
Okay.
But yeah. They literally all the women in my entire life. Those are the two I would give it up for. I would give them respect. I would.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's like, and to be honest, this is something I've realized later on. Yeah, I got you. I
see that, Blaze.
I did that on purpose, bro. I did that on purpose, Blaze. Shit, I got you. Yeah, you know, I don't do beef the other way either, just because I don't like the taste of beef, and it's not. I did it earlier in life, but it wasn't like something that I really. It never really worked for me. The other thing is, steak is difficult to cut, man. I need something, you know, you can get around, like some chicken, some turkey kind of thing. You just get in and get out, because I'm kind of like that. But shout out to my dad. My dad eats steak. He's a prime rib dude. So.
Okay.
Yeah, prime rib.
Yeah, my dad's a prime rib dude. I'm like, yo, like I can't really get down with that. The type of beef I used to like, obviously being here in San Diego, was carne asada burritos. Obviously.
Oh, I've heard about that. How is that?
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
All right. All right. Cool.
But then again, like, you understand how I'm talking, because technically that's a pretty progressive mindset. It's not like a super conservative mindset from an Indian perspective, right? Like,
Right.
It's one of those things. Like, I remember the one thing I hated was hamburger meat. I can't stand hamburger meat.
Yeah. Hamburger meat's rough. Yeah, hamburger meat is rough. Unless you make it yourself.
Yeah. Unless you make it yourself, then it's okay.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like one of those things. I always used to give all my hamburgers when we used to have hamburger day in high school and middle school to my buddies. But you know, it was just cool like that.
Yeah.
It's you know, it is what it is, bro. Like, being progressive when you go to another country is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be progressive, because guess what? You're going over there. They're not coming over here.
That's right.
Right. The other thing that kind of bothers me, and I'm gonna say this about America a little bit. You know, around holiday time, or around, you know, right now we're dealing with Easter, and it's always white folks that do this. Shout out to the white folks. They don't mean no harm like that, but like, I'll be in the mall or something during December, and it'll be Christmas and stuff. I'll just be walking around. Like, at this point, Christmas don't mean anything to me like it was when I was running into Toys R Us feeling like I won the lottery back when I was a kid. But people will be like, hey, where are you from? Like, from America. You know what? And they're like, oh, well, do you celebrate Christmas? Like, yeah, of course I celebrate Christmas. You know, it's like sometimes people, and then like the next thing that comes out of their mouth is, we're having Christmas service. Would you like to come? Like, I celebrate Christmas with a Christmas tree, bro. like move out that shit. And it's always kind of like certain people that do that. And I'm just like, look, I'm in America, bro. It's December. Of course I celebrate Christmas. I got my little, plastic tree that I got from, name your department store for like $80 that I plant. It's not like I go to a Christmas tree spot and then take that on my truck and do all that stuff. I did that for a while, and then my carpet kind of went bad because you're watering that Christmas tree and it's a mess and whatever.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, everybody celebrates the same stuff because we're a part of America. It just is what it is. So when you go over there, you have to have that mindset. You have to be like, okay, like, these are the holidays coming up. I'm gonna go get in my little get up and be cool with it. That's embracing culture, and that doesn't mean that you're a sellout compared to what you used to do or any of that dumb shit. That's just that mindset of like, I don't do that because I wasn't raised that way. Well, I mean, you can go back home to America and raise yourself the way you were raised before. You can't pull that shit in another country, man.
Well, I mean, from a religious perspective, and pardon the phrase, but from a religious perspective, there are things you can get away with because they will not disrespect you in your belief system.
Of course.
But if it's just you doing American things just because it's American, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all.
This is how deep the whole traveling thing is, because it's not just, I go over, I land and basically hop on Tinder and do whatever. If that's what you're trying to do, bro, like, good luck to you. But if you want to actually have a foothold in the community and in the country, because you respect the culture, that's why you should actually have SYSB. To be honest, the reason I'm traveling is because I'm a spiritual seeker. I'm seeking what's out there.
Yeah.
I mean, if I wanted to learn Spanish and hang out, I could do that here.
Man, I know for me, all the places that I've been, the one thing I always got, which made everywhere I went, people liked me. You know what I did all the time? I sat, I was quiet, and I read a lot.
Sure.
To them, that is like one of the most amazing things to see, a black man who sits and reads all the time. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not even trying. Yeah, it is. And I'm not even trying to be funny when I say that. It really is. They're amazed by that shit. Because again, they're used to us just images on the news hanging out on the street corner and, all that kind of stuff. But to see someone who sits and reads and then gets in a conversation about the subject on the book and realize that, that myself or whoever it is actually versed on it and reading. And I mean, I've had people literally come up to me and ask me, why are you reading? They've literally asked me that. And it was like, it's enjoyable. And they'll look at me like, and like, wow, that's okay. They're real. It's like they found a unicorn or something, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
100%. The other thing is, a gift goes a long way when you're meeting someone, right? Like,
right.
If you're going, and shout out to my business training, but being kind of understanding culture and stuff like that, doing this stuff, when you walk in, be super kind of, don't be the loud dude. Be quiet, know your role, bring a gift, be hospitable, and you be interesting, and actually cater your conversation to the intelligence level that you're dealing with.
Yeah, and I'll go one step further on that. Not only adjust it to the intellectual aspect of the person you're talking to, but also understand not everybody's meant to be able to have the enjoyment of your conversation.
100%, 100%. Yeah, and it's okay. In other cultures, certain people will just listen even though they don't know what's happening, and there'll be like a round table of people, and you're talking to three people.
Yep.
You'll
Yep.
know you're talking to three people, but
A lot.
those other people will still be respectful enough to sit at the table and just ear hustle.
Yep.
100%. Like it's only here in America where I'll see people sitting down. Somebody will be really chopping something up. People don't understand what ends up happening. They move over and go over and talk about some dumb shit over there.
Yeah, because the same way you'll have 12 people at that table and three of them are listening, you're also going to have one who tries to derail the conversation over to something else.
100%. 100%.
And it's usually about stupid shit. Yeah, and it's usually about stupid shit.
Right. I ain't about talking about that dumb shit. I'm gonna talk about the fuck shit over here. All right, bro, go ahead. Go ahead. You know, like it's weird. Like, and that's it. Like a lot of times listening gives you a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Being humble and then just asking kind of an honest, innocent question. If they know you're listening intently and you're trying to learn something, they'll sit with you for a half an hour and talk to you about it. They just need to know you're coming from the right place.
Yeah, and it's funny too because I know I know somebody had asked me before about how do you learn how to listen, and I had got and I wasn't trying to be funny, but it was the truth. I said, you know what? Go watch Star Trek: The Next Generation and watch Captain Picard. Go watch Captain Jean-Luc Picard and watch that and watch how he interacts when he's listening to somebody. Look at his mannerisms. Look at his body posture. Look at his facial expressions. That's how you listen.
I thought you were gonna say stop talking, but
No. But I'm really serious. I mean, for a fictional character, he's got it down to a science. Whether the writers wrote him that way or whether Patrick Stewart played him that way. But if you watch him, watch when he's in some heavy philosophical conversations or legal conversations and stuff like that, or someone just wants to come to him and talk to him about what they have on their mind. Look at him when he sits in his office, and then look at him when he sits in the ready room, the conference room, and then look at him when he's sitting in his own quarters and they've come to visit him. I mean, I'm telling you, it's fascinating to watch. It's absolutely fascinating, and it's good. It's good. Nuances change here and there depending on the location that he's doing it, but the overall application is still the same. And I mean, it's just fascinating. And if you look at it, you'll understand that after 7 seasons of the show, looking at the characters from a fictional perspective, you'll understand why they are so loyal to him. People think it's just because it's action and he saves them a lot of times and stuff like that, but it's more than that. It's deeper than that. I mean, if you really sit and look at his interactions with everybody, whether it's the main crew, someone who came on the ship, a guest star, etc. To me, it's fascinating to watch. To me, it is. And I won't lie, there's a lot of mannerisms that I've actually used from watching that show in business, and they work. They actually work. It's the weirdest thing because I was just fucking around trying it, and it worked. And I was like, oh, here, let me keep doing this, and it works every time.
Yeah.
It works every time. And that's
I'll
the best example I can give. That's why I gave it to him.
I'll tell you something. That library tip that you were saying earlier, that I co-signed on. I'll tell you.
Oh, for my grandfather? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have never been happier being in an empty room or being in a room in absolute quiet and it was interesting because I did this probably 3 or 4 times. You're
Mhm.
sitting in a library with a specific objective, and you're sitting with a bunch of books. Most of the time, I used to read about business, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all this kind of self development stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and there's nothing like being peaceful and being uh, and reading a book and being completely absorbed in only what you're doing at that current time.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing that's better than that. And you know the other people that are here for the same reasons. I'll say this: if you don't have any money or completely busted down broke or whatever, you go into that library and buy in books on the stuff that you really want to start is the best thing in the world. Because sooner or later, you're just going to sit there and things are going to start happening mentally first. You're like, man, like this stuff was easier than I thought it was. All I had
Well,
to do.
yeah. No, absolutely. That's how I learned to fix computers. I mean, I used to like something had happened in my computer. I took it into a computer shop. The dude sat it on the thing. He took the panel off the side. He looked inside. He stuck his finger, and I heard something go click, and my computer started working again. Then he turned around, looked at me, and said, "That's going to be $100."
Right.
I was pissed. I was pissed.
Right.
So I took my library card and I pulled out every freaking book on computer repairs and how computers are made and what they're made of. And I learned to do it my damn self. And that's a true ass fucking stuff. Because the kids were looking at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
I took all them books out for like 3 weeks. And you would see, and if you walked in my living room like the girls, you would see my books just spread out everywhere, all of them open to different chapters. And I'm taking notes and I'm drawing schematics and the whole 9 yards. And ever since then, I fix my own shit now.
Right. 100%.
That library card is powerful, man. I'm telling you. That library card is powerful as a motherfucker.
100%. Like, if you really wanted to, you could go to the library and get the stuff that you want to learn and basically build a resume based on what you learned in the library if you're going to do something in a particular field. You can technically do that if you want to. But
Yeah.
but then again, it goes back to the fact that even if I talk about something relevant in this space, I could tell you what to do, how to do it, and how long it's going to take, and people still don't want to do it.
Well, what it is acquiring knowledge without applying application equals a fool. You see what I'm saying? Because there are people like that out there. They go out, they just acquire knowledge, and that's cool. It's fun to acquire knowledge, but it serves no purpose if it's not being applied. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for yourself. You can apply it for yourself. You can apply it to help somebody else. Not trying to be funny, but you could apply it to help your community. You could apply it as an employee for somebody else. Whatever have you made, but it's got to be applied. Just sitting with it serves no purpose.
I mean, think about all the books that are in a library that talk about grants and things you can go take. It's there. It's there. So any of these dudes that really want to start a business or do whatever, like, hey man, it's right there. But speaking of which, I'm getting my EIDL loan and all this other kind of stuff in a couple of days whenever that shit opens up again.
Nice.
But yeah, like it is what it is. Like there is no shortage of resources in a country like this.
No, there's not, and that's why foreigners look at black people when they come over here like we stupid. Because they come in here and they look for those resources, they find them, they apply, they do what they have to do, even if they have to do it 10 times over until it gets done. But they'll keep trying until it gets done. And we've been sitting here our entire lives and not taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that, and that's why they look at us like we stupid. And I can't get mad at that.
Yeah, and the other thing is when you take the American passport to a foreign country, you get the foreigner treatment that the foreigners get here.
Yes, you do.
People don't pay attention to that.
Yep.
There's
Yes, you do.
there's a bunch of things that foreigners have access to that the natives over there don't have access to, and the situation that people are going to say is, "Hey, man, that's unfair." That's the foreigner advantage. So if you want to have an advantage going over somewhere else, become a foreigner and take the foreigner advantage. The thing is, you can't get out of pocket. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Which is the other side of this. You know what I mean?
And yeah, like I said, they come over there and they bring all the fuckery from here with them. They do. But library have all types of events from resume writing. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they got all that. They have gaming.
Oh,
They
that's
have
gaming now?
in my area they had a gaming club, they had a comic book club, and each one met separately once a month, and they had a couple of other things too.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, libraries are trying to get in there, man.
I'll tell y'all something, and I'm sure Lawrence will agree with this. If you want to learn anything about computers, do yourself a favor, go on eBay and buy yourself a $50 lab computer.
Yep.
Computer that's got RAM in it, hard drive, CPU, whatever. And don't put nothing on it and blow it up.
Yep.
Blow it up in the sense like, just be like, look, I ain't got nothing on this thing. I don't care what the hell happens to it. Right? Because part of it is you've got to be okay with shit going bad.
Yes, because after I learned, what I did is I took the old computer and I kept it, and what I did is I grabbed the girls and I brought them in and I started showing them what I learned.
Okay.
And then we used the old one. I told them, I said, don't worry about breaking it. If it's broken, it can be fixed. But part of learning something is you're gonna break things. So I kept the old one for that very reason. And then I started showing them how to do it. So if you opened up a computer, my daughters can stand there and point to each piece and tell you what it is.
Sure.
And then tell you what it is and tell you how to put it in and take it out. So yeah.
The only thing that you're hoping not to do is to short out the motherboard, but that's impossible in a lot of ways. You got to be really super stupid to do anything to short out the motherboard.
Well, it's interesting because that's what they were worried about, because I had showed them how to change the power source on the motherboard with that little nickel battery that's in there. Looks like watch battery.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all they were worried about. And I said, let me tell you something. You can't short it out. And if you do, a motherboard's only $99.
All right.
The world's not going to end. You know what I'm saying? $99 is a fair trade to teach you a lifetime ability. That's a fair trade.
100%.
That's a fair trade to me. It really is.
You know, I was thinking about something, and this is kind of how I pay attention to it. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he lives in Oakland. Actually, he lives in Livermore, but he was born in Oakland, so he grew up in Oakland. He lives in Livermore. He actually moved back to Oakland, pretty quickly. But I was talking to him because I was like, look, bro, you're in Oakland. Let's say you're going to high school, right? What kind of resources did they have in terms of technology? It's like, man, they didn't have anything for us. We used to have an auto shop that they took that out to. And I was like, that's interesting. If we were able to take old recommissioned workstation computers for $100, we could probably put 30 of those workstation computers in there. And as long as we had somebody to teach people how to code and different things about IT repair, those kids could probably walk out of that classroom and get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because after I started trading super heavy, it took me probably like a week to think about this. You could do the same thing with anything related to a computer field. I mean, even trading is considered semi-computer related because you need an internet and a computer to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because I could take $100 computer and trade on it as long
Yes.
as I knew it had enough RAM and the processor was good enough. You could trade on that thing.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Like I'm not trying to do anything like you're doing, but it's insane that we have so many kids that are there's a skills gap.
Yeah, very much so.
Because there's nobody teaching them. Okay, like if you want to trade, you can do this, this, and this. If you want to go into IT, you can do this, this, and this. Like the money,
But they don't.
right?
But they don't want to, because what happened is they bought into the propaganda. Because like I said, there's a lot of young brothers got their computers, got their video games, and the whole 9 yards. And I've talked to a couple, especially on the computer thing. So have you opened it up to see what's on the inside? Why would I do that? Little man, you're good at using this computer to do everything. You should know how it works on the inside. I said at the very least, man, you upgrade your value. And he's looking at me, upgrade my value. I said, man, think about what I'm saying. If you open it up, you see what it is, you learn what's what, you learn how it works, how to take it apart, how to put it together, man. You can make money off your own homies, man. Every time they shit go wrong, you could be there. Every time somebody in the neighborhood shit go wrong, you could be there. You could be getting the little duckies on the side, man. Go buy your video games on your own. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, think it through, man. Just think it through. Oh, nah, man, I'm good. I'm good. All right. I was like, yo, because like I said, you in the hood, man. I promise you, nobody in there knows how to fix computers. I mean, not to be an asshole, but I'm being real, man. I said, but if you that brother, man, every time a smartphone don't go right, they come see you. Every time the laptop don't work, they come see you. Every time one of your friends got homework to do and the desktop goes out, they come see you. That's loot, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
That's loot, and you don't have to open a business. That's just in your neighborhood.
100%. That's what a lot of people did. That's what a lot of people did in 2017 after the Bitcoin crash. They took all the recommissioned computers as long as they had PCI Express slots and jammed a couple video cards in them and just turned them off. Kept them. 100%.
I had got a whole bunch of computers for kids in the section of my neighborhood in Bed-Stuy, right on the other side of Stuyvesant Avenue, Malcolm X Boulevard. Yeah. Didn't have computers. And the only reason is because the company I was working for, which was Choice Logistics, they were upgrading all their shit. They were just going to sit them computers outside and wait for trash to take them.
Wow.
Well, that's what companies do. I'm not even mad at them. That's what they do. They do it with computers. They do it with computers. They do it with furniture, the whole 9 yards. So by the time I got done, you had a couple of kids who had like new desks in their house, a couple of those old office chairs, the swivel ones that you sit in at your desk, and all those computers, the ones I could get, I got to those kids and I showed them how to upgrade it, how to do this, how to do that, the whole 9 yards, man. And they first time they ever had computers in their lives other than school. And they went to school bragging. They were proud. Like, I got a computer, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want. You want kids to get excited like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
spark of creativity that's gonna hold them out.
I mean, dude. I mean, they throwing out, and dude. This was back in the day because they were Dells. And Dell was the big shit until Apple started doing they one piece machines. But even with that, Dell was still the big dog on the block. So throwing out Dells was some crazy shit back in the day, man. Them shits was expensive as a motherfucker since they just sit them outside for trash. Right. So I'm like, yo, let me have them. You can do it as a tax write-off, yada yada yada. And I remember the vice president, George Fernandez had said, "Well, we already did what we did paperwork wise, so it's in the trash. Just take them if you want to take them." They're like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." So I went out to lunch. I had lunch. I had lunch with my manager Mitch. We came up with a game plan on what's what in the whole 9 yards, and I came back to Mr. Fernandez, and I told him why I wanted him and what I was going to do with him. And homeboy looked at me dead in my face. He said, "That's what I like about you, Lawrence." He said, "Tell you what, count out how many you need. I know you're not going to be able to take them all on the subway. I will get a truck for you for the day, and you can take them where they got to go." And he did.
Wow.
He did. He did. And then I took him to everywhere I could take him, and whatever was left, my man Lawrence ran the neighborhood pharmacy. So we left everything else in his storehouse, and anybody else that we didn't get that day, they could come by the next day and pick it up and just take it home. Oh, we ran that shit. Oh, we ran that shit like a motherfucker. And like I said, it wasn't just the computers. We got some desks. We got a couple of chairs. So, a little kid could if he wanted to set up a nice little space in his room where his computer, its own desk, its own chair. I mean, we didn't get many of them, but we did get some. But those computers were the most important. And like I said, man, I came back, we got it done over the weekend, came back that Monday. As a matter of fact, even Lawrence came out on the weekend because there was a couple we missed, and he brought his own personal van and picked up a couple of more and a couple of the chairs. But that following Monday, man, I went back and I looked at Mr. Fernandez and I said, "I want to thank you." I said that was huge. That was real huge. He said, "Yo, just make sure they get something positive out of it, man. And if there's anything else, what I'm saying, I can do, just let me know."
Right.
And like I said, we weren't a nonprofit or nothing like that. It's just I didn't think they should go in the trash.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, we got kids sitting in neighborhoods who ain't got no computers. Just take them.
100%. What a lot of people do is they'll get these computers, right, and they'll take the motherboard out. So it's the internals: motherboard, CPU, RAM, hard drive. That's what they need, right?
Yep.
And then what they'll do is they'll put that on a wood post, and they'll see how many PCI Express spots the motherboard has. And they'll take the video cards, put those video cards in, throw them in on a hashing rate depending on what algorithm you're doing, and all of a sudden there's your automatic money. What they'll do on top of that is they'll have a PCIe extender card, which you basically put into one of the PCIe's, and that turns one of those PCIe's into 6 of those PCIe's. So now you're able to put 6 PCIe cards on, whatever is there, and all they do is hash away. They just mine away. They were doing that in 2017, and they're still doing it up until right now. Because they've just been mining through the whole dip.
Yeah, and the sad part about it is that what I'm saying, that was back in the 90s. I want to say like 94 when I did that, 94, 95. But here's the sad part about that story. As great as it was, as good as it made me feel, and I'm not gonna lie, it made me feel real good to do that. It did. Sure. But I would not do it today. Yeah. If the opportunity if the exact same opportunity presented itself again right here, right now, I would let it go to the trash. I might grab one for me just so I could have it to fool around with at home, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Not with the way these kids are raised by single mothers nowadays. No, sir. No, sir. I would not do it. And it's a sad and hurtful thing for me to have to say, but it's the truth. Oh crap.
Yeah.
3 hours and 40 minutes. I'm sorry, man. Geez, man. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
You're good. I was just getting ready to say, we've been on here for over 3.5 hours. Man, we gonna call this one up. Yori, you got any last words, brother?
No, man. It's just I gave a lot, and so did Lawrence. So just rewatch this thing, man. There's plenty of game in here.
Yeah, plenty of game in here. Great, not a great information in here.
I
hate curls, Lawrence.
As always, man, thanks for having me. And hashtag men first, man.
Productivity first, along with men first, man. Be a man of production.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm good with that. I'm not mad at it.
100%.
Girls. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, man, I just man, it's been fun. I had a good one. Yeah, girls. Can't blame them. When you gain age, you have more stories to tell. Yeah.
What is that? Was that about me?
I think probably both of y'all.
Oh,
Curls is young
okay.
anyway too.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever, bro.
And Nick Amaro, before the stream ends, I just gotta say I proved Lawrence wrong.
Yo, man, yo, man, enjoy the dub. Enjoy it, man. Like I said, I'm not mad at you. Enjoy it. Live it up, man. Shit, go to other panels and tell people I'm good. I'm straight. I'm straight with it.
Yeah, I had fun with this, and it's been a great one. A lot of information, great information was passed around in here, and don't be a helmet nigga. And happy Backstabber Day.
Yeah, right.
Peace.